going here. I think we're feeding out to the people. I believe that our signal is going out to the world, to all the folks out there. We are broadcasting live on Utreon for anyone that's listening to this. If you want to join us, I saw someone in the chat saying that they finally figured out how to join us when we're live. We're live on Utreon, Utreon, and then just look for the Who Moved My Freedom podcast or WMMF podcast. That's how you can find us. We do that so we can show guns. We can actually hold the guns. You know, we can actually be free. We're going to be talking about freedom. We've got my friend Jared of Guns and Gadgets here. So let me remind everyone, go to hankstrange.com. That's the best place to figure out all the different things going on with us, how to link up with us, etc. And then since we have Jared here, I'm going to remind you guys, Blackout Coffee. In the chat, there's a code that you can get 10% off. The code is Hank10. There's a link and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about that and other things. Let me actually get this started here, Jared. Hold on. I got to push a button over here to make this happen. Let's do this.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation. Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Franklin Armory. Franklin Armory provides 100% US-made firearms and awesome binary option triggers. Their focus and purpose is to provide freedom tools to all Americans, especially those in not-so-free states. So when you're in the market, please consider Franklin Armory. All right, boom, there we go. We are live. We've got Guns and Gadgets joining us live. You got to do the, I don't know if you remember this, jazz hands. Oh, yeah. You got to do the jazz hands. We are live. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on. It's just myself and Jared, so yeah, it's going to be, I'm actually looking forward to this. This is going to be fun.
Man, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So this is episode 861 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. As I said, our guest is Jared of Guns and Gadgets joining us live. Jared, what's up, man? What's the deal?
I can't complain, man. We're down the hatches. We're getting a blizzard here in Massachusetts. We're going to get 24 inches of snow through tomorrow. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that should be nice. Is it powdering yet? Is there a little bit of snow out there yet or not yet?
The first flake's supposed to start like within the hour, so we'll see.
Ooh, okay. All right. Are you prepared for this? Are you ready?
Dude, I hate this stuff. Hate it.
You hate snow?
Can't stand it. I
Really?
moved to New Orleans once for a reason. I'm out. This is my last winter.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're done. You're done with Mass,
yeah.
huh? Oh.
Done.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can't. Dude, man, I remember growing up in New York and the snow and everything. I don't know if I can handle that anymore, you know? Lola thinks it's romantic. Oh, Lola thinks that's so romantic, you know, the snow.
That's what Photoshop's for.
Yeah, exactly. All right, very cool. So, for the folks out there, you know, smash those arrow ups under the title of this video as you're watching here. Hopefully we'll get as many of those as possible. I see Jay Grew out there. Bobby says he's the one who says he finally figured out when we go live, had to wait for Flying Rich to point it out. So there you go. Appalachian Gun Runners out there. Cruiseman is out there as well as AK Sean, who says hi, Hank and Jared. So hey. I can't. Every time I talk to you, like, so when I hear Jared, I'm programmed. You know what I think when I hear Jared, right? Do I have to say it, or how often do you like?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, he went to Jared. Is that? Yeah.
I wish I had that guy's money.
Right, I'm telling you, man. Every time I'm like, oh, you know, can you hook a brother up with some diamonds?
You know, when I was younger, I got that credit card just so I could have one with my name on it.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. That's all over. That's what is it called? What's the actual jewelry store called? Jared's Jewelry or something like that?
Jared's Fine Jewelry or something like that?
Yeah, they're all over the country. Well, I've at least seen them all up and down the East Coast because I know they're in Florida.
Yeah, they got to get that money.
Yeah, they were in Jersey. I'm pretty sure. I think that's the place Lola and I got like our wedding rings from.
You're supposed to remember this stuff, Hank.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. Lola, I'm sure, will let me know. I think we're approaching like 23 years married, believe it or not.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is our 23rd as well.
Really? Okay.
012999.
Yeah, 99 is when I got married. If Lola has any pictures of me and her when we got married, it is a fiasco. I hope your wedding was nice. Ours was literally at at the courthouse in Queens in New York. You know how you
I
can
do.
Yeah. So Lola was very big, pregnant, and I had just it was like maybe a year or something after I found out I have Crohn's, and I was really really sick. So I looked like I had AIDS or something, man, because I was down to like 130 pounds. I hadn't even like really eaten anything. I think Lola was thinking, yeah, this is it. This guy's kicking off the planet. I'm gonna get his fortune. You know. Um,
Yeah, I had a full head of hair. I had a six pack. Those were the good old days.
what?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. Where's pictures of that?
I'll
Jared
text
with
you
a
one.
6 pack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I need to see this. If you have it, text it to me. Maybe I'll show it to people if it's allowed. If it's, I don't know. I don't know if you, I don't know if you let people see that kind of stuff.
I
Yeah.
don't know. The one I know that I have, I might not want out there.
Oh, okay. You have what? You had like long flowing locks. I'm trying to imagine what like a
Nah,
young Jared looked like.
I'm Italian and Spanish, so
Hmm.
it's kind of curly.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see this now. I'm gonna ha- we're gonna have to see this. So, is this on your Instagram or anything?
Hell no.
I know you keep. So you're keeping some of these on your phone though. You have them on your phone.
Yeah, I got some.
Yeah, I have like right now. I'm looking to see if I have pictures. I know I have pictures of when I was younger. I don't know if I have pictures of when Lola and I got when we
Actually,
got
those
married.
pictures are so old. That's when we actually had pictures and film.
Yeah, remember that in the olden days?
Yeah.
Where people actually yeah, what was it like 35 millimeter?
Yeah.
You had a big
A
you got
110 if you were cool.
right. Wait, 110. That was that in the like little skinny. What's the
A little,
110?
yeah, it was the one that looked like a little phone.
Yeah, like the little Instamatic type things or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. Oh man, I forgot about those. That's the Wayback Machine. When did you? So, what era did you grew up in the 80s? I'm guessing then. Are
Yeah,
you
yeah, I was born in 75.
Oh, 75. Okay, yeah, I'm actually a little bit older than you, man.
Sorry to hear that.
I was born in 72, so I'm gonna be 50.
I got a couple years. I feel
Yeah.
like it, but
Right.
it's coming.
Oh yeah, I seriously feel the age. I actually have. Have you ever heard of a frozen shoulder? I know you've
Oh
had
yeah.
injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you had one?
No, it was close. I had my shoulder rebuilt twice
Mm.
within 90 days, and when I was healing the second time, it was almost frozen.
It was almost frozen. Was this
Yeah.
from like some on duty stuff, on the job type stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't doing anything. I don't even know what I did to somehow I ripped my shoulder. So I don't know if I had like, maybe it was a heavy. I always have a bunch of crap in my backpacks.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that was it, but my shoulder is frozen and now they want to I need an MRI and then they want to like go in with a needle or something
Open it
and
back up. Yeah.
yeah, give me corn. This is what happens when you get old, man. You don't heal. I used to have Wolverine healing powers and now I don't have that anymore.
Yeah, I used to run through walls. Now I can't run. Period.
Right. I feel like did you ever see what was it? Was it Logan, the movie Logan where he was like old and like he was getting
Yeah.
ready to kick off the planet? I feel like that now. Yeah. So yeah, getting old is not fun. Um, Cruise Man said you had a good video today. What video went up today?
So I've been following the 7 states right now moving for constitutional carry. Florida's
Mm-hmm.
one.
Mm-hmm.
And in Alabama, the Sheriff's Association is actually working with Moms Demand Action to stop constitutional carry.
Alabama. How did that
Yeah.
happen? How did that happen in
Well,
Alabama?
in Alabama, they have like annual permit fees,
Mm-hmm.
and the sheriffs count on that income
Oh,
to pay for all their toys.
right.
So the Mobile County, actually, I think he said he was going to lose $1.4 million if they went constitutional carry. So for that reason, he's against it.
Wow. And
Yeah.
is he normally a pro gun, pro Second Amendment? I would assume in a place like Alabama they would be, but
Well, he's come out against it a couple times. In fact, one of his former people, his employee,
Mm-hmm.
is a state rep who sponsored the bill. So the sheriff fired him because he sponsored it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
it. Okay. Yeah. So this sheriff, what is this sheriff's political leaning? Is he a Republican?
I believe so,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. If you're against the Second Amendment, you're against the Second Amendment.
Yeah, no, I'm curious to see that because you were talking about Florida, and man, I would like to see Florida get constitutional carry, and I think that there's been reporting that the governor said he would do it, but I don't know if there's actual movement in Tallahassee to make it happen. So I don't know
There's a
what have you
lot of
heard?
stuff going on right now in
Mm-hmm.
Florida behind the scenes,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
But we're going to need to move that Senate president.
Yeah, I need to check and see exactly who. I know that my friend Lewis at GOA, he's in Tallahassee, and he does. I don't
Mhm.
know if you ever communicate with. Do you know Lewis Valdez?
Yeah, good dude.
Yeah, yeah, really good guy. And he's doing a lot of stuff on this and taking a lot of blows as well.
Hey,
Hey,
sometimes to disrupt the powers that be, the status quo, you have to.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I would like to see it, and I would not like to see DeSantis running for anything else unless he does that in Florida. Thank you very much. As much as I like him, I like DeSantis. You know,
Yeah, you have one of the good ones. None of them are perfect, but
yeah,
I hope he stays there just long enough for me to move there.
yeah. Someone pointed out his resume, and I'm trying. I don't know if that was you, but somewhere on social media, I saw someone pointing out he's got a deep resume. He,
Oh yeah, he used to be in Congress.
yeah, but he did a lot of stuff, man. He was in the Navy, I think.
Yeah,
That guy's been doing a lot. He was in what was it? The JAG. Like I guess that's like the lawyers
yeah,
or
the
something.
investigative unit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then I think he was a lawyer for for one of the SEAL teams or something. There was a whole bunch of stuff I saw when I was looking him up. So
yeah, he's done a lot.
yeah, hopefully he he does what he needs to do there. Do you want to see some old school pictures? You just reminded me of this. I'm
All
gonna
right.
th- I'm gonna throw one old school picture up here. This was I'm gonna say that looking at this here, this picture is probably um 1990. Okay, this is circa 1990. Gonna throw it up right now. Boom.
Look at the
That
denim.
that is a young, sexy Hank Strange right there, man. Look at that. I don't have a six pack really. I don't know if there's any kind of pack under there. You know, there's a deficit of beer or whatever.
Brother,
And
you
then
look like Ralph Tresvant.
yeah, look, I actually have a Gucci link bracelet on, believe it or not. And then I forgot the
That's
name of
awesome.
this. It's someone out there might remember the name
That's
of this company that made these
is
jean
that Z
jackets.
Cavaricci?
Is that what that is? Is that the name of the
I think
people?
that's Z Cavaricci.
Yeah, this was this was one of the I was actually making money and buying designer jackets. You know. Yeah, that's old school right there. I think I was maybe 18 years old in that picture.
That was right around the time. Remember hypercolor T-shirts?
Hypercolor.
It was a T-shirt, whatever color, blue,
Mhm,
but when you
mhm.
put something hot on it, it would change
Oh,
colors.
yeah, yeah. There was a lot of stuff out there, and it was still. I mean, that looks stone. Is that Stonewash? Yeah, that's Stonewash. Yeah. Do you remember those days?
Yeah, man. Unfortunately,
Yeah. I think right there, I had either right before that or right after that. I had gone to England. What is the name of the? Oh man, I'm trying to remember. What's the name of this group? Is it Jodeci? Do you remember Jodeci?
yeah.
Remember Jodeci came out and they had the see-through shirts.
Yes.
Do you remember the? Do
Did
you
you have
remember?
those?
Yes. I don't even know. There's no picture anywhere. Thankfully, thankfully.
Those mesh shirts.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to see a bony Hank Strange, but I actually, I remember I'd gone to England and my cousin's girlfriend was like a seamstress, and I had her make. It was almost like a scene from The Cosby Show because I couldn't afford those. Those things were actually expensive for not having any kind of material. So somewhere, I think I have a picture of me with a Coogee sweater. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man,
You
those.
ever rock a Kangol?
Yes, I had. I think I still have a Kango somewhere. That was kind of so. That was like a. That's like a northeast coast thing that we're talking about. I don't know if everyone out there. Lola says, "Oh my God, Hank is reminiscing again, but when he was young and skinny." Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
we all do.
yeah. Those are the good days, man. You know, it was, had that Bruce Lee build. Now I got that Bruce Leroy build. You know, so all right, cool. Yeah, let's. You need to. I need to see. I threw up a throwback out there. You need to somehow procure a throwback.
You going to the Gundies?
Um, I'm not even sure yet. I think we're planning on it, but I'm not sure exactly if we've pinned all the details now. You gonna be there?
Yeah, if you go, I got you.
Okay, cool. What are you? You're nominated for something, right? I know you probably got a couple of those.
Yeah, top voices of the 2A,
Okay.
and the I think it's most influential creator. I think I have no chance in that one, so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
I have no chance in any of them. You have a way better chance than me. And I would think you.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
campaigning for John Crump to get it, but
yeah.
if you don't want to vote for Crump, then definitely I say vote for Jared. That's what I.
Thanks,
Yeah,
bud.
yeah. I have. You know what? So when's the last time I saw you? I think. When was
In
that?
Iowa.
Yeah, in Iowa, we went hunting. Was that your first time?
Yep, that was my first time ever.
Yes. We popped hunting cherries together. We're some kind of hunting brothers or something like that, I guess.
Yeah, blood
Yeah.
brothers now.
Yeah. How was that?
That was cool, man. I'm an inner city kid.
Hmm.
Grew up in the projects. Never had the opportunity to do that stuff. That was really, really cool to see how hard we went pheasant hunting.
Hmm.
Uh, but those dogs, man, to see them work nonstop was impressive.
Hmm. Yeah, those dogs are no joke. And I don't know. I've got to see if I've got pictures here to pull up. But oh, someone just sent me a thing, something about looking like boys to men. Who was that? uh, yeah. Someone just sent me a message. So someone is looking at this from somewhere and not in the comments, and they're saying something to me, something about you're looking like boys to men or something. All right, I'll
Uh,
track that down later. I need to find some pictures of us when we were hunting. I don't know if I have. How far back here can I go on my phone? I got to figure that out. I'll throw some of those up for the folks that are out there. What's so right now? What's the new stuff you're covering? We obviously I know that you were doing. We've got the Supreme Court. You've got the open carry. There's this ATF going after the triggers, and then there's also what's happening with Matt from CRS, right? Did I
yeah,
cover?
and
Uh huh.
actually, when we were setting up, news kind of just broke too.
Okay.
Second Amendment Foundation and Firearms Policy Coalition are suing California because they were trying to release gun owners' personal identification info.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Stuff is old. Like how is this for you with all this stuff going on? I mean, you're the person I see hitting with a lot of stuff and not just coming out and saying like, okay, this is what's going on, but giving people a little bit of behind the scenes. It seems to me like you'd be getting a lot of info. I know I get a lot of info all day. I'm assuming you get a mega crap ton compared to what I'm getting.
I get quite a bit. Yeah. Now, I'm thankful for it. It's extremely overwhelming sometimes. Like the last 2 weeks have been crazy. There's stuff happening everywhere. Um, but I'm just blessed to be able to have the connections I do and be able to translate it to folks out there and drive people to action.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I know there's a lot of people that appreciate it. What would you say is the most important thing? Because I know right now there's just a whole bunch of things swirling around. What would you say is the most important thing people should be looking at? And if people have questions, you can ask us, and we'll get Jared to answer some stuff as well.
I think the most important thing is November is the midterms. So
Hmm.
everybody in every state right now should be investigating who their candidates are and
Hmm.
figuring out how they voted because this is the next group coming in. People are predicting a red wave, but some of those, as we've learned, just because it's a Republican doesn't mean they're pro-gun.
Yeah. It's interesting. Look, I would like to see it, right? And I think that definitely we're going to kind of get this pendulum swinging. But man, we all kind of lived through when these guys told us, how long ago was that? When they were like, hey, wait for the midterms. Do you remember that? How long ago was the
Hmm.
wait for the midterms thing? What are we in 2022?
Yeah, they say it every other year.
Yeah.
It gets old.
Yeah, but I think that was right after. So I think you got Trump got elected, and then these guys had a super majority, and we're like, hey,
Right.
these are the things you guys need to hit, and it was like, yeah, wait for the midterms.
Yep, they did nothing, and then
Hmm.
Democrats had a big takeover, and then they're predicting the same thing now because Biden's kind of
Hmm.
doing his thing.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of bad stuff. So you think that's the biggest thing we should all be paying attention to, right?
Yeah, because the next couple of years are dependent on who people come out and vote for.
Hmm.
Do I think we can vote our way out of everything that's going on? No, but we can definitely change a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's really interesting. I know, like for example, what's happening. I think with the Supreme Court is a indicator of that, right? So now
Yeah,
Biden gets to put someone in the Supreme Court. Thankfully, Trump got to put in to do some stuff there. We're gonna see how important all this stuff is pretty soon. We're gonna take a break here. We're coming right back after a couple of seconds. Everyone, just hold on out there with your questions. Walther Arms has been making concealed carry handguns for over 90 years, starting with the PPK. Today, Walther is based in the good old US of A and still builds quality firearms like the PPQ and PDP for personal defense and competition. So when you're in the market, please consider Walther Arms. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Walther Arms. All right, we are back here. Let's see. Hold on. Let me make sure that your name is showing up there. Boom. Guns and gadgets. In case no one realizes that it's on
who's
there.
this guy?
Yeah, yeah. And so we're in the news. So this is a good. This is what you do. This is what you do. We're in the
That's what I
news
do, man.
section.
It's
Yeah,
it's interesting.
yeah. Okay, so we're talking about important stuff. After that, what do you think about what's let's hit what's going on with CRS. Let's talk about that for a second. From your perspective, what's happening here? Are
So
you
he
you're
was,
tracking this, right?
yeah, he
Mhm.
got out today.
Mhm.
Um, I've read the indictment, and for people who don't know, I've was law enforcement for 24 years, did a lot of work with federal agencies, and I'm not an attorney,
Mhm.
but the indictment is a stretch. I think it's beatable for him. He's going to need a good attorney because I've never seen a court-appointed attorney beat the federal government. But I
Mhm.
think what they're doing to him is wrong, and it's a stretch.
Yeah. I mean, the the original case that goes back to the guy with the key card.
Hmm.
This is
Never gone
almost like,
away.
yeah, this is like built on a house of cards, if that makes any sense to people out there,
No pun
because
intended.
right. Actually there wasn't. But you know what I'm saying? Like, how the hell is that a machine gun in the first place? And then it seems like they're building this whole conspiracy off of that.
Well, when is a bump stock a machine gun? When is a forced reset trigger a machine gun? When is a
Right.
shoelace a machine gun? Those are all
Hmm.
things the ATF said are.
Yeah. And this is why it's dangerous, right? I think I saw you somewhere reminding people of that, because if we go back in time here, um, you know, there were people like, "Oh, this is no big deal because it's just bump stocks. Who cares?" They suck, which I agree. They suck. I've never gotten the bump stock to work um, at all, to be honest with you. But it's the whole principle of the matter of allowing these guys to deem anything a machine gun, even something that clearly is not dangerous to anyone and cannot even easily go from being a metal card to being a machine gun.
Right. Especially they're unelected bureaucrats, dude, and they are very politically motivated. Whoever is at the head of the DOJ is going to have them carry out their agenda, and Garland is dangerous.
Absolutely, these guys were even I think they were they were talking to the Biden administration even before he was in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that they really wanted to do. So that's the scary thing about it. This is my understanding. You probably have insight that's a little bit deeper. My understanding is you had that key card guy get arrested. How long has he been locked up? He's been locked up for a while.
It's been about a year, I think.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and then it seems like Matt, who also for my and I've spoken to him and stuff like that. He helps a lot of people out, so he was out there doing stuff to help him out, legal fees, all of that kind of stuff of what's going on. Um, and then somehow these guys have taken all of that and built a conspiracy. If anyone's seen that stuff that came out on that, actually, I have it somewhere here. I could pull it up. But they've built a whole conspiracy case out of that. How does that happen?
Well, the government, when they're doing investigation, they cast a very wide net, and whatever they catch in it, they try to jam up.
Hmm. Yeah, and it seems like these. I don't know. I'm assuming that they're not just doing this willy nilly. That they have some kind of somehow they're connecting the dots. But I know, I did see a little bit of this. I guess I can. I don't know. You've probably looked at this stuff, right? The
Yeah,
indictment.
I have the indictment if you want me. I can text you the link.
Yeah, I think is this it here? Pretty much what I'm throwing
Yeah,
up right here.
20
Yeah,
pages.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
20 pages. Yeah. Well, just reading through this is interesting. There's some leaps that these guys are making in here that I mean, basically, you cannot in any way help someone. Like a GoFundMe is a crime. Like trying to set up a GoFundMe for someone is a crime.
The interesting part that I've never seen before is that they're saying a YouTube sponsorship
Hmm.
somehow
Is
linked
also
him
a
to the
crime.
business. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's also a crime, and then now you become a co-conspirator of that person doing something. When I think that really this falls in the realm of art.
And overreach.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like the key card. I see someone here asking what was the key card guy charged with? Now he was charged with selling machine guns, right?
Yeah, I don't have it with me, but he got distribution of machine guns and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then even if you look through all that stuff, it's like they're going after assets and stuff like that as well in there.
Yeah, they want cars, money,
Yeah,
equipment, and want everything. That's how the
yeah,
feds do everything.
yeah. It's not. I don't know if it's quite a like a Rico kind of thing, but it looks like they're trying to somehow build it up to that level where they can try to claw back. I saw something like 68,000, and then something like maybe another 3-4,000 or something in there that they're trying to claw back.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, an Appalachian Gunrunner says, I wonder if their case is based on portraying Matt as a partner, like you said, because he was,
that's exactly what they're
responsible.
doing. They're saying that he had a vested interest in the distribution of these machine guns.
Right. And also there's a thing in there where they were talking about how he was paid. I don't know like how the sponsorship was paid. Well, why is that even relative?
It's not, but that's
Mm-hmm.
the only way the feds
To
will
link.
try to link him to it is
Mm-hmm.
look, he got paid, he was given equipment,
Mm-hmm.
uh, there was a handbag purchased, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
How far do you think this? I mean, do you see him spending a lot? Well, you said he was released, right? Do you?
He got out today, but
Okay.
it's going to be a very, very expensive case for him.
Okay. And so far as you know, the GoFundMe and everything's still good. I'm a little concerned about that whole situation, right? Like the political correctness or social, like these platforms. If let's say someone was caught burning down cities or something, it would be okay for people to do GoFundMe's for that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and the Democrats would they be democrating as like they usually do?
Yeah, but so what I'm worried about is that they'll go after him, especially since this is something even mentioned in this indictment. Like they'll go after the GoFundMe. So I hope there's like an alternative way to get him lawyers because definitely the government is using our money, to try to come down on these guys, and one of them's already been locked up for over a year, as you said.
Yeah, there's going to be more information coming out soon about all that stuff behind the scenes that I'm
Hmm.
not at liberty to say.
Okay. All right. Um, yeah, this is, you know, I, it's scary to think that we're living in a world. Here's my thing about this. How can you say that this card, like the possession of a card, right? A piece of metal, like a flat piece of metal. It's not made into any specific things. I get it. You know, it may have something etched into it or drawn on it. How can they actually, give people time, serious kind of time, and do all these things for that over something that's clearly not a machine gun? There's no way in hell you can make that card in a court shoot a bunch of people.
No, so the way they're coming at it, and I haven't read their reports on the ATF side, but being familiar with investigations, my guess is that because those cards were etched, they're going to say that it was a blueprint for the average person just to continue, cutting them out, and then wouldn't take much to go from there to make a lightning link, which the ATF has gone after before.
Hmm.
So that's the way they're going to.
Right, and so that becomes a machine gun, and this is the weird thing. Do you think at any point here the Supreme Court is going to take up something like this and clarify whether something like this could be a machine gun?
I don't.
Yeah.
Because first off, the definitions go through Congress, so
Hmm.
Congress would have to take up something.
Okay. Because there's no, I mean, has anyone ever like been seriously convicted and is out there spending time based on just have let's take it away even from this card thing that's etched. Has anyone actually done the time for just having the parts, but not a machine, not a gun that it goes into, or something that makes it a machine gun? How does that even work?
I'm willing to say yes, just
Okay.
because a lot of times they put people in such a predicament.
Hmm.
It's easier to plea bargain than it is to fight it out and spend $500,000. So I'm willing to
Yeah.
bet there are people.
Right. Yeah. This is Cruiseman says if they charge a guy for an etching on a piece of metal, I'm in trouble. I have model kits with machine guns and bazookas.
Yeah, it's,
I mean,
I, I got a full auto with a suppressor here, I guess, so
right.
I'm screwed.
Yeah, like how far and technically, I mean, that's plastic too. I mean, bump stocks are mostly plastic. I know there's some metal ones out there.
Look, I'm in Massachusetts. You're
Well,
not supposed to
oh,
have
oh, oh,
slidey stocks.
oh. What year is that, man? Is that grandfathered in?
I don't know. What year did goat guns start?
I don't know. This is a weird thing, and at some point here, we have to settle this out, right?
Yeah, and it's going to take an administration that's willing to reel back the ATF and DOJ.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it happening under this guy we have now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think it's very important to vet candidates
Mm-hmm.
and hold them responsible and to make sure they stay or keep their integrity.
Yeah, we definitely have to settle all this out. Night Train said there's almost 72K in the GoFundMe. If there's a way to get that money out, I don't know how the GoFundMe's work. I haven't had to do one for myself. I've only ever put money into it. I really hope that goes to them because I know this is going to be an expensive thing to fight.
Yeah, I
You know.
think so. GoFundMe will probably pull it down, but this stuff happening that'll probably take care of that.
Mhm.
And I've run a GoFundMe once when my dad died.
Mhm.
They take a chunk, a big chunk.
Mhm.
So I'd rather see people donate right to the family if possible.
Yeah. Yeah. And if there's some ways, if some better way comes up, and I'm made aware of it, I'll be happy to put that out there for people to do. And this is probably a thing that's going to go on for a long time.
Yeah,
Um,
nothing's fast with the feds.
no, absolutely not. And then the other one, so the other big news thing that's coming out this week, I feel we should touch on it here as well, is the wide open, the WOT, is it, I guess WOT trigger, and which came out of the FRT. Is that the name of the
FRT is rare breeds,
rare breeds?
and
Yeah.
wide open trigger is big daddies.
Okay. So what's going on with that? For the folks out there who haven't heard about it.
So there's two cases going on. The ATF has done cease and desist letters saying that the force reset trigger is a machine gun, and Rare Breed is fighting. They're suing the ATF.
Mm-hmm.
Big Daddy Unlimited came out with the wide open trigger, and Rare Breed is suing Big Daddy for patent infringement. There was a temporary, injunction, a preliminary injunction. So Big Daddy or wide open triggers cannot sell or manufacture until that hearing or that lawsuit is done.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, the ATF has gotten marching orders to go get these triggers now.
Mm-hmm.
And according to, I think his name's Lawrence, the CEO of Rare Breed, an FFL in, I think, Indiana was visited, and they took their stock. Okay. So it's happening.
Yeah, so they're taking it from. Do we know of them actually tracking any people down and
so from what I know, neither company has given up. They both say they're not going to give up their customer list.
Mm-hmm.
And the current marching orders from the ATF, according to the document leaked by GOA, they're going after manufacturers, distributors, and retailers right now. And usually when they do that, they're looking for unsold stock and paperwork associated with sales.
Yeah, so they can follow those leads out from there.
Right.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. What's your take on all of this? It's kind of a complicated situation, like you said. There's a bunch of different moving parts going on here with that story.
If you look at the trigger and how it operates, it's not full auto. It forces a reset. If you've ever used one, I've used one at their range day at Big Daddy's. If you hold it the wrong way, it only fires one shot. Mm-hmm. So it's a regular trigger. There's just new technology, people thinking outside the box, creating cool things because mm-hmm. technology changes and rights
as don't. They should.
But yeah, right? And the ATF mm-hmm. just can't handle it, man.
Yeah, and the definition of this here, like the definition of a machine gun, is you pull and hold that trigger and it keeps firing until it's empty, right? You know, as opposed to any of these triggers that are out there, there's been binary stuff out there for a while. You know, Franklin Armory that sponsors the podcast here, they make a binary trigger, and there's quite a few other people who do that. Those triggers, and even this force reset trigger, which looks like, you know, it's amazing. From the time that came out, right? Everyone's looking at it like, whoa. So, but at the end of the day, if that's not you pulling and holding that trigger, that's not a machine gun. That's what
correct
the definition of a machine gun is. And even the problem with like these guys going after bump stocks and all that kind of stuff, because that's the same thing. You're not just pulling that trigger and holding it. And I could never actually even get the bump stocks to work properly. So,
yeah, unfortunately, the bump stocks were driven by a president mm-hmm. who, once he came out and said we're going to get rid of it, they carried through.
They had license, and then an event that they said that it was used, although we were really not sure what happened there, right?
Yeah, right. I've shot a bump stock once. It's a range tool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You just broke up there for a second. That's probably me. You're good. You look like you're good. Yeah. You know what? Right. I have footage somewhere. I would have to go find it because I've never really done a video on it. But every time I went to Media Day for SHOT Show, it would come up. Like there would be someone that made the bump stock, and they're like, "Oh, try to do this," and I could never get that thing to work.
Yeah, you have to pull and push at the right. It was a pain.
Yeah, it's a weird dance that I'm like, what is the point of this? You know, so I think all of this stuff, at some point we need to settle it out. I don't know when it's going to get settled out, because where are people just deciding this is a machine gun, and really how far can you take it? And, you know, my understanding with the bump stocks, if you just possess a bump stock, not on a rifle, it's a machine gun.
Mm-hmm. 10 years, $250,000.
Yeah, and this has been for years. This has been out there for years, and no one has handled this. I mean, I know there's people, like I think Mac has a case that's ongoing, and GOA and other people, there's a whole bunch of things going on with this, but it hasn't been settled out. And now, you know, here we're looking at someone talking about a card, you know, a piece of metal that has an etching of something that if you complete that, you still have, you can't just complete it and it makes a machine gun. So it's not a machine gun as the card. You can't pop it out of there and make it a machine gun. It has to, you know, There's a whole bunch of steps further down the line that have to be done, and people are getting arrested over this.
You know, dude, in a perfect world, in my perfect world, all the big agencies join together, all the big companies join together and sue the frig out of the
Mm-hmm.
DOJ and ATF and end it, period.
Mm-hmm.
But until, everybody gets along and gets singular focused, I don't know if it happens.
Yeah, you're right. We need to just sue them into numbness. They just need to get sued until they go, we surrender. We give up. We'll just stop. Yeah, I agree
Well,
with
they're
you.
like a kid. I mean, you've had young ones. They don't
Hmm.
stop until they're corrected.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And this is what's happening here. And then obviously from Biden, they've gotten license. The ATF has gotten license to do a lot of stuff. And there's gonna be more if we keep going down this path. So, um, you know,
100%, man. They're still going to do the pistol brace and the frame and receiver. That's all still coming up.
yes, yeah. So that's not died, huh?
No, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's interesting though. We've heard about all of that. That's the minute warning right there, Jared. We've heard about all that stuff, but we haven't seen a lot on it yet. How come we haven't seen what we've kind of all expected on pistol braces?
They took their sweet ass time going through the comments. The frame receiver, there's movement on that now. They've sent letters to FFLs or companies that sell them, P80s and stuff, to see how it'll affect their business. They're looking for a cost analysis right now. So we're probably a couple months away from a final rule.
Mm, okay. Yeah. So look out for more, and more and more bad news.
More
Um,
tyranny.
yes, more tyranny on the way to red-blooded Americans all over the country, unless people really decide like, hey, we've had enough of this, and it has to stop. And these guys see that, and then
100%.
and someone takes real action against them. Okay, we're going to another quick break here. We'll be right back here in about 20 seconds. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Barnaul Ammo. Barnaul has a wide range of reliable, quality steel case ammo for small game, large game, target shooting, and self-defense. They've got the classics like 7.62 and 5.45, as well as 9mm all the way up to 308. Subsonic as well. So when you're in the market, please consider Barnaul Ammo. Okay, we are back. Oh, why do I have all these different windows? Let me take all these windows off. All right, so we're back here. Um, I see that. What were you grabbing over there? I saw you grabbing something. What was
So
that?
this is I'm on today's my Gucci Sig kick.
Yeah.
So I have a Max Michel
Ooh,
320.
holy,
These
nice.
things are sexy.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go.
There you go.
So no front sight.
Those are some
Comes with
deep
a
serrations, man. Damn.
yeah. This is bad. This is their competition ready gun, right out of the box, designed by Max Michel.
Wow, nice. And what color is that? Is that like a gray green?
It's probably the light, but the frame is gray
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and the slide's black.
Yeah. Sweet. What's that? What optic do you have on there?
That comes with the Romeo 3 Max by
Okay.
Sig. If I can get the line up.
Oh, there you go. Yep. Oh, hold on. Did Jared freeze up here? I don't know if he froze up. Let's give it a couple seconds here. See if we get him back. Uh, as someone has said already, I probably need to put some quarters up in. Are you back? There you go.
I'm back.
You froze right there on the.
That was the ATF trying to get the numbers.
Look at that. Yeah, like oh,
Bastards.
let's stop it right there. No,
Yeah. And then
sweet. Okay.
playing with the noisy cricket today too.
Ooh.
This is the 365 XL Spectre. So I can get the light right for you.
Oh, that's cool. I like the trigger. And then what's going on in the front there? That's a weird cut in that. And once again, it went automatically to freezing. I don't know. Every time Jared puts a gun up there, it automatically just goes to freezing. I don't know what the deal is with that one. Um, let's see. We'll probably yeah, you're back. What is happening? Yeah. I know that's not Jared because Jared, unless the snow is coming down and messing up your signal. Oh, we totally lost him altogether. So hold on a second here. We're gonna have to get him to dial back. Bear with us as we get him to dial back in. I don't have. Oh, here we go. I don't have any. I'll check on my internet, but yeah, my
It did it
apologies.
again.
Yes, yes. I don't know what's going on with my internet here, man. Um, I blame me. Let's just blame me for this.
Do you have a
Cause
big black van with dark windows near you?
yeah, um, they, you know, I'm using cellular, so that's one of the reasons why on my end it's always terrible. Let's see if this. I'm gonna take off some things here so none of my devices are trying to use anything. So there you go. Okay, so those are two SIGs. What's that cut? That's what I was asking you. What's that cut that's in the front of that slide?
On the Spectre?
Is it the
It's
noisy? Was it the crick? Yeah,
yeah.
that's an interesting position for that cut. How is that working? Is the
Uh,
barrel
no, it's
ported
not
there?
ported.
Yeah.
It's just to lighten up the slide a little.
Oh, okay. So that's just taking a little bit of weight.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Um,
it's pretty aggressive on the serrations too.
yeah. So who is this? So this guy who's making these, you said is Max Michel. Who is this dude? Is
So
that
Max
a?
Michel is
Mhm.
he's a competitive shooter. He's the head of the SIG shooting team. He's one of the nastiest shooters I've ever seen.
Mhm.
He designed this one. This is his personal one he designed for
Okay.
SIG, and I think I might be the first person in New England who got one. I have a friend at SIG who hooked me up. And
Sweet.
this one is
Sweet.
just a special edition that came from SIG Custom Works.
Mhm. All right. Very nice. You're a big fan of Sig?
Lately, I was I got one sitting here. I always have. People think I'm crazy, but I got my Glock 45 here. I've always been a
Mhm.
Glock guy, but SIG makes
Mhm.
some nice stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what the thing is about? Like I've always been a Glock guy too. I have a lot of Glocks, but I don't know. So at some point, there you almost kind of get bored, and you almost feel like they're not pushing at all. And then you start looking for alternatives out there. And
Yeah,
if
it's
that
like,
makes
geez, I
sense.
need to spend money.
Right, exactly. Yes, you need to fulfill your desire. I wouldn't knock Glocks at all. I think they're really good, but I think that they've let a lot of folks catch up to them in terms of what they're doing, and what I see out there now. There's a lot of good alternatives. I think to Glocks out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of what we used to call Gucci Glocks that are
Hmm.
outperforming the Glock out of the box. Like Zev, I have a couple Zev technologies. Those things are awesome.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so yeah, Lola wants to know what was exciting at Shot Show, and you were at Shot Show, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get into that here in a second. I got to show off. Check this out. This is my MP5. It's a clone. It's a clone. It's actually called HNK. I don't know if I could even show this. Can you guys see right there? See, it says HNK. So it's not an H.
That's
It's not.
cool.
It's not an actual H. But actually, it was an HK. So these came from. I won't say which, but these came from a SWAT team from a SWAT team somewhere here in Florida, and they were machine guns. And then
They
they
left one on the ranch, did they?
no, they got cut. The receivers and everything got cut, and then we bought the kits and had it all put back together. BWE Firearms actually put this back together for me and did a whole bunch of like really cool. Let's see, I don't know which one. Yeah, maybe this is a good way. Maybe this is a good way to see. He did a bunch of cool stuff on there for me, like built-in red dots and stuff like that on here. Yeah, so this is really, really, really nice. I've got Magpul furniture on it and all that. So I always wanted, like right now, I'm actually rocking. Let's see, I'm rocking an HK shirt right here. I don't know if you guys could see that from the Gun Nerds thing that we did. And yeah, I've always wanted to have an MP5. Happy to have this one.
Is it a real one? Giggle switch work?
No, no, no. One of these days. That's the next
Yeah.
level. That's the next level.
That's the first thing I'm buying when I come to Florida, dude.
Oh,
Is a real MP5.
okay, all right. So you're gonna actually start your you're gonna have a gun like a gun manufacturer or something like that called Guns and Gadgets. That'll be awesome.
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna take that as a yes.
I'm trying to get some businesses going. We'll see.
Yeah. So what was exciting? What was exciting at man, you are gonna be so dangerous retired. I don't know. That thought I just realized that. I was like, oh boy. Um so what was cool? What how did SHOT Show go for you?
It was different. I mean, you've been to them. It was
Hmm.
like Friday every day of the week, like a
Hmm.
typical Friday of a typical
Yeah,
shot.
kind of slow.
Especially
Yeah.
especially the last one we had, like in 2 years ago. Like
Hmm.
that one was crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, nuts. Yeah.
So I brought my friend this year, and I was like, all right, shot show's happening, and I brought him downstairs, well, level 2,
Hmm.
so I could see the doors opening. I told him it's going to be like a Black Friday sale at Walmart. You're going to have people fighting to get through the door.
Hmm.
And it wasn't, dude. They opened it and it was just people trickling in. I was like, where the hell is everybody?
Hmm.
But for our side, going to work, it was good because you could have quality meetings with people. You could have extended FaceTime.
Hmm.
You didn't have to yell. You didn't have to fight through the crowd to get to the next meeting.
Hmm.
I definitely did not run into any pull behind carts. No bruised shins this
Oh,
year.
right. Yeah. Yeah. No one
it
missed
was
us.
it was cool. It was different,
Hmm.
and I like it. It was more personable and more intimate. And I hope if NSSF ever sees this, I hope that they keep the environment that was created this year. That would be really nice.
Yeah.
Product wise, the 8.6 Blackout that Q developed with Faxton.
Hmm.
If you're a
8.6
hunter, big game
blackout.
hunter, that thing's
Okay.
badass. Yeah.
Okay. That's a
And
bolt
then
action. I
Franklin,
never even heard of that one. I gotta look that up.
it's so they had it running on a 1 in 3 twist Faxton barrel
Hmm.
with a suppressor on it, and there's like no recoil, dude. It's like shooting a 22, a
Is it
little
called
more
the
than 22, but it's
Q86 what blackout?
8.6 Blackout, yeah, 8.6
Okay.
BLK.
Okay. Huh.
And then Franklin Armory, they came out with the binary for the Glock. That was fun.
Yeah, that
That
was
was
really
different.
cool. Yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna try to pull this up here. See if we could show
Yeah.
this off to you guys. Is this it? Is this what we're looking at? No.
Nope.
No, I don't think this. No, this is not it. Hold on. I'm gonna have to go back and see if I could. I thought I saw it
It
come
could be
up
on
here.
Faxton's website.
Yeah. Silencer Shop has a thing. Let's see. Oh, you know what? The Firearms blog has it. Let me pull that up. That'll be good.
Yeah, he was out there
Boom.
playing with it.
Yeah. Here you go. Hugh's stuff always
Cool
looks
little
really
round.
good.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
serious little round. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
Now they
So.
have
Hmm.
it was over 1 million RPMs coming out of the barrel.
Really?
Yeah, it's a big bullet to stabilize, so they had to ramp that thing up. They had to spin it like a Tom Brady spiral.
Yeah. So that's a 30. So this is a 308 in the middle, and then on the outside of that are the 8.6 blackout. So what's supposed to be the benefit of this? It's like easy to suppress, good for hunting. Or what's the?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. If you follow if you follow Q on the gram, he did a
Mm-hmm.
lot of big game hunting over the summer,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the round he was using. And
Hmm.
I might get the number wrong, but they had lethality out to like 495 yards,
Mm-hmm.
and they're tweaking some things, and they expect to be able to hit 600 yards with to have the lethality still.
Oh, okay, cool. CSR Mike says I've learned to wait on new calibers. No factory support and huge performance disappointments has left me cautious.
Always.
That's from so and then the other one you said was you were at media day, right? So you were out in the desert
Yeah,
shooting stuff. Okay. Did you get a
yeah.
chance to
The
shoot that? Mm-hmm.
yeah, I shot that rifle, and the Franklin Armory
Mm-hmm.
binary on the Glock was like I was calling it the poor guy's Glock 18
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because for those who don't know, the Glock 18 is the full auto, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Little boy that they had out there was really nice.
How did that? Do you have any video with you shooting that up? that I can find somewhere? Is it on
I
Instagram?
don't. At the
Okay.
time, I was the only person there, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to ask somebody to hold the camera. But there
Mm-hmm.
is footage. If you just look on Shot Show's thing, there was a bunch of people shooting it.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I've seen the footage. I know the guys from Franklin Armory pretty well, and I was aware of that thing. I was just under NDA, and it was a thing. I was like, oh my god, man, I'm not going to Shot Show. I'm gonna miss out on this. How was it taken? Was it like were people truly surprised by it? Because I couldn't say anything until I saw stuff come out. I couldn't say anything about it.
yeah, people were giddy about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the instructor in me was like, if somebody has experience, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but first, second, third time shooting, maybe maybe never. If you shot a binary trigger before,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a different it's a different order of operations.
Yeah.
You have to make sure you keep that gun safe direction all the time.
Yeah, you need to
But
know what
it
it's
was
going to
fun.
do. Yeah, especially
Yeah,
because it's working when you pull the trigger and when you release the trigger. And I think they said it's cancelable, right? So
yeah, yeah.
this
You
has
can
a
flip the
switch.
safety.
Yeah, this has a switch on the outside of it. Let me see if I can I know, I'm sure there's videos of that as well. Let me see. Binary Glock. I'll pull up something. So, did
I
you
think
have it
James might have it on TFB.
TFB? Okay. Did you have any interruptions with it? How did it work?
Fine for me. I didn't see many people have any hiccups at all actually for the
Mhm.
whole day and everything. It
Mhm.
wasn't like 2 years ago where some manufacturers had to take their own guns apart to make them work.
Yeah. Let's see who we can get up here. Yeah, okay, you know what? You're right. TFB has a video. Let's see if we could pull their video up here. Okay, it's a whole intro here going by. Let me let this intro. Of course, TFB has a fancy intro.
Well, yeah, he's
And we're
big
not,
time.
yeah, we're not gonna show the whole thing either, but we'll show a little bit of it. So there's Brandon, uh, showing this off. Let's skip through here. Yeah, I was trying to get, so I was at the Tampa RV show, and I'm like, Brandon, send me footage. He's like, dude, it's
Yeah, there it
crazy
is.
over here. Let's see if we get a chance to see them right here shooting it. Get this.
At range day, dude, it was the attendance was probably down 40% than what it was 2 years ago.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
So here we go.
there it is.
Yeah. So was it only on this? Was it only on this frame that Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
yeah. I think they did
Oh,
that for
that's.
safety reasons.
Yeah. Look at that. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So yeah. Do you think that was the most exciting thing from Shot Show, or like the thing that broke the internet, or something else? Was there some other thing that happened out there that was?
I've become a big Canic fan the last 2 years, and
Mm-hmm.
Canic has the new Rival series out. That
Okay.
is a nice gun. I think the market price with the MSRP was going to be 680,
Mm-hmm.
and another race gun right out of the box has a integral comp. Comes
Mm-hmm.
with Canic's new red dots called the Mechanic, like mechanic.
Okay.
Flared magwell. They have two versions. One's called the Dark Side, I believe. It's all black, and they have another one that's a
Can.
gray Cerakote with gold accents.
Okay. Oh,
Pretty cool gun.
SFX rival. Oh, I
Yeah.
think Walter. I'm not sure which one he got. Let me see if I can throw this up for people to see. I know Walter ordered some kind of canic. I heard, and it might be this. Is it this thing?
Yeah, that's it, man. That's a bad little
Oh,
gun.
oh, that looks good. Let's see if we can get a better look here at this. Okay, I like the
And
black
if
and
you're familiar
gold
with Canic,
accents. Mm-hmm.
they have one of the probably the best trigger out of the box for a quote unquote affordable gun.
Mm-hmm.
And they outdid themselves again with this one. This one's even better. Breaks at 90,
Mm-hmm.
crisp.
What is the
It's a
deal with
nice
this
gun.
stuff trying to come over? Yeah. The mobile site is not working right. I can just tell you that right now. So for anyone who wants to see it bigger than this, sorry. This is about
Let
as
me
big
see.
as you're gonna get
I can
on
text you a
this.
picture of it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I try to go, yep. Every time I try to go to let's see if it works now. We got someone shooting it. Team Canic right there. Let's see what this is. Come on, play that video. And how much is that? Oh, this is a whole video.
I think MSRP was like 680, and it comes with 3 mags, a red
Mm-hmm.
dot, a holster,
Mm-hmm.
and so you'll probably see it on this. Probably hit the FFLs probably like 645, 650, I
Okay,
think.
not bad. Yeah,
No, not bad at all for what you get, and it's not bad at all.
yeah. That's gonna change the competition world because usually these competition guns are over, from what I see, like 12, 1500 bucks.
Yeah, I'm interested. I've ordered one. I can't wait till it to come in because I paid
Mm-hmm.
a lot for this thing, the
Mm-hmm.
Max
What's this
Michelle,
one?
and
Yeah.
I want to run them against each other.
Yeah, and see which one is best.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
Max Michelle's twice as much.
Right. um, that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. And how
Yeah.
mad are you gonna get if the Canic is working better?
Man, it's nothing but love. I'm just glad that people are, making cool stuff.
Absolutely, competition's an awesome thing. I see BWE Firearms out there, by the way. Shout out to BWE Firearms. Um, you know, competition is an awesome, amazing thing, man. I love to see it. It's like from our press. What was it the PSA put out? They put out, was it a micro dagger? PSA put out
Yes,
a couple of
that's
things.
cool.
Yeah.
They put out a micro dagger and a killer for the 5.7.
Oh yeah,
They
that
call
five
it,
seven looks good.
yeah, and it's cheap. It's half as much as my FN.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
yeah,
And I think that's hitting the streets in February, so that's ready to
yeah.
go soon.
PSA is dangerous, man. PSA
And
is, yeah. Go
they got
ahead.
like 6 AKs that they were showing too that are coming out.
Yeah, there's some 545 AKs coming out from them. I think they've got the 223. Is that what the 105 is? I think that's their 223 AK that they've got out there. Oh, Jared's frozen again, looking very stoic. This it like Jared is always freezing on the stoic images. I don't know what's up with that. Um, let's see. He should usually he's even back by now. So I'm not. Are you guys still seeing us out there? Let me know if you're still seeing me. I'm not sure that this. I don't even have anything. I don't even have anything running in here, so I don't know. Yeah, we lost him altogether, so we'll get him back here in a second. Oh man. Let me know if I'm still feeding out there to the folks or not. Here we go. So yeah, you know what? For some reason,
Hey, Brett.
this was all good yesterday. Had multiple people on here. I don't know, man. Yeah, Brian Quick says I see you. It paused for a second, so I don't know. I'm closing all windows. All windows are closed. I don't know where that's even coming from.
I don't know. Maybe it's from running the video.
Yeah, maybe because I ran the vid. Oh, you know what? Let me make sure that my. Oh, I think I do know exactly why that happened. Oh, hold on a second. I am not on the proper. I'm not on the proper device. That's one of the reasons why. Okay. For some reason, I'm not on the right device. That's why that's happening. Uh-oh. Okay, Lola, if you're out there, you're gonna have to come back out to the van, woman. Uh,
Here comes the boss.
yeah. No, because it's tough for me to get up from here. But I just realized that I'm not on the right device. That's one of the things that's happening. So somehow my thing that I do, we are actually feeding off of Starlink right now.
Thank you, Elon.
Let's see. I'm not sure how good this is going to be or not, but for some reason, this thing has kicked me over to Starlink, and that's the only reason why we're still going. Because apparently, I can't even get on the iPad that I was getting on before. So, yeah, Starlink saving us here for a second, but I don't know how. Armament and Axis says I'm a dork. Yes. Okay. Can't argue about that one right now. Yeah, I don't see the iPad thing. I don't know how to do it. Oh, here's Lola.
Jump on my phone.
I'm afraid of if I jump on your phone, I don't even see your phone either, Lola.
I have the personal hotspot on.
Oh, okay. I don't see it though. It's not showing me any of those things. I'm seeing my phone somewhere.
It's weird that it's
I'm seeing the Yeah. Okay, don't worry about our craziness that's going on, Jared. Uh, this is
No worries, brother.
Look for it now.
yeah.
Look for it now.
Okay, let's see. Okay, now I see stuff coming up. So I'm gonna jump on Lola's phone here. If I lose you, just dial right back in. Let's see if we can do this real quick, if it works or not. Oh, fingers crossed. Okay, I'm still here, but we probably we lost Jared. Hopefully I'm still out there feeding out to folks out there. I don't know.
This is what happens when you live
Come
in the country.
on. Yeah, I don't want to have to restart the whole thing. That's the reason. Um, yeah, okay. I think that I'm still feeding out to people. If you guys are still hearing us, let us know. Jared may have to call back in here, but I did just switch over to Lola's phone and I'm actually on it.
Let me come off here. Let me go look for you in Utreon.
Yeah.
See, we're still rolling.
And here we go. We got Jared dialing back in. And if anyone can hear us, let us know. I have successfully switched over. Okay, yeah. I'm just...
You're there.
Okay, so we're still here. We're still feeding through. Okay, yeah, let's just go to more Gorn for the people. Let's just do that. I think I'm on Lola's phone now, so... Okay, this is going to be... What else you got? What else you got, Jared?
Well, before I came on, I was running the Mantis Blackbeard. You seen this thing yet?
No. What is that?
So Mantis came out with a laser practice targeting system where the magazine is actually the battery.
Mm-hmm.
So when you insert it, it just will reset your trigger.
Oh, this is out of prototype. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the last time I had...
Cool.
Yeah, I had those guys on it sometime, and this was in prototype stage, I think. That's cool.
And all you got to do is you just pull out your BCG and your charging handle.
Oh, sweet.
You throw that bad Larry in, and you're good to go.
Okay, and this works with the software and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, they have an app. You don't necessarily have to download it, but they have some really cool programs. And like I have an FBI Q target that's about 15 yards from here, and it's small, so it simulates like 50 yards. So that's what I usually plink with, hoping that nobody comes around the corner and gets hit with a laser.
Okay. Yeah, some folks out there might have to refresh their thing, but I'm pretty sure that we're still feeding out to people. And so since I switched over here, it's looking good. All right, cool. By the way, one of the things I do want to talk to you about. So when I saw you in Iowa, I know Lola's always been on coffee, and then between you and Lola, I was convinced to go over to coffee. The Blackout coffee stuff is really good, man. Especially right now while we're talking, I'm drinking the chocolate. This is the most amazing chocolate. Like it's mixed with coffee, but it's like the real deal.
Thank you, man. We try, try, and I'm glad that you guys like it. I really am.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a lifesaver when everything gets crazy.
I think I have Blackout coffee in my veins. I pump that stuff.
Oh man, it's really good stuff. So I appreciate you doing that. How's everything going with that?
Good, man. We're growing. We just got into working relationships with Firearms Policy Coalition and Gun Owners of America. So we have roasts for them with their logos on it. And
oh, sweet.
When people purchase their bags of coffee or their K-Cups, we donate $2 from every single item, which is more than our profit on it, and we donate that right back to those groups so that we can assist them in fighting for our rights.
Absolutely. There you go. That's really cool. CSR Mike says 8.6 Blackout coffee. You guys
8.6, I'll take it.
8.6. What would that be, man? What would that blend look like? I don't know.
I wonder if I'd have to get Kevin's okay with that one, though, because that's his round now.
Oh, uh-oh. Probably.
Yeah.
I would say you want to probably run it by him.
Yeah. I'll text him. Hey, bud.
He has been known to get a little touchy.
Yeah.
If anyone knows him. But yeah, I think it's a really cool thing. I'm glad. And I don't know if folks realize it, but there's like teas, chocolates, coffees, and stuff like that. So
yeah, we got it's full lineup. We have flavored hot chocolate, flavored coffees. We do whole bean ground K-Cups. We do the whole process ourselves. We control the beans. We order them from around the country, and we get grade A instead of cheap stuff that Dunkin' Donuts might get. And we control the whole process from the beans when they're green through roasting to grinding to bagging to shipping. We do the whole thing.
Yeah, I'd love to get into that. It sounds like a really, interesting thing of how that all happens. I'm sure is stuff coming from around the world as well, right?
Yeah, we source from everywhere. Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
Honduras,
Mm-hmm.
anywhere that has a crop that because
Yeah.
it's a crop, so it's not in season all the time in all the places. So
Mm-hmm.
we will source from different spots at different times of the year.
Yeah. I wonder if what's coming from Ghana, that's where Lola's from. At some point, once we get we get some stuff going here, we got to figure out the Lola blend, using
We're game, brother.
some
We're
Ghanaian
game.
coffee beans. Yeah, I don't know how she's gonna feel about it, but you
We'll see
know
if she can tell.
right, exactly, right. How do you how do you tell the difference? I think Ghana is pretty big on growing coffee, and I think chocolate as well, if I'm not mistaken.
And gold.
And
A lot of
gold.
gold
Oh
mines
yeah.
there now. Yeah.
Yeah, man, lots of gold coming out of there. Even where I was born in Guyana, there's a lot of gold coming out of there. But I don't know. Yeah, that's one of those places in the world that China's taken over, man.
Yeah. Forcefully.
Yeah, yeah. China's in there like giving up lots of money and buying people out. Cruise Man wants to know, how did you get into blackout coffee, which is I think a great question.
Yeah. Interesting story. So it's about 3 years ago now. John Santos and his wife, they're the owners of Blackout, the original starters. They're from Massachusetts. They moved down to Florida to Punta Gorda and started Blackout Coffee. And he was a viewer of the channel. So he reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested in doing an affiliate thing to obviously shed light on the product. And I'm really picky on who I work with. So I was like, dude, send me stuff because I'm really, really picky. And
Yeah, try it out.
if,
Hmm.
yeah, if it doesn't suck, we'll talk. And I'll be honest with you, I never really liked coffee because I don't really like the bitterness.
Hmm.
And the stuff that he sent, there was no bitterness. It was smooth, and I was like, okay, let's do something together. So I started as an affiliate, and we just grew to the point where he offered me, ownership stake, and I jumped on it, and trying to grow it as much as we can. I mean, it's a small business run by Americans. Here in America, it's in Florida,
Hmm.
and we're
I love
doing everything
that.
we can to support the Second Amendment and support our troops. And we send
Hmm.
money overseas. We send coffee to the troops overseas, and sending money to GOA and FPC. We were
Hmm.
doing it anyway, but now we're doing it with their own roasts. So we're just trying to give back to the community.
Absolutely. Listen, I think it's a good thing. I know there's other people out there doing things in the coffee world and stuff like that, but it's good to see you doing it. I think that you being connected to it helps, right? People know like where you're coming from and how you look at things and all that. And I think that combination is a great combination. I'm glad you did it, and I know when we were together and Lola was talking about it and all that, and actually she's been working on getting me over to coffee for a long time. And here's the weird thing, like here's how I could tell it's like a for real thing. Typically I drink coffee, it knocks me out and I go to sleep, which is
Hmm.
I don't know if there's a lot of people like that, but that actually happened to me with other stuff. But I've noticed that this kind of stuff is like a completely different strength level, because then she's like, okay, now you're out of control. In the past, that's how she got me to actually chill out through coffee. But I could tell that it's actually, I don't know, there must be some kind of weird thing with people because I've always been like that. But this stuff is strong enough that I don't feel that way when I drink it.
So it's good, I guess. So
Yeah.
keep drinking it.
I don't know, am I just an alien? Am I just weird? Can anyone else
I,
back me up on this? That they drink
I've
coffee
never
and
heard
go
of
to
that, but
sleep?
I've never heard of that, man. But hey, whatever works.
Yeah, it's a weird thing with me. Like I don't react normally to medications, even drinking. So even though I'm a big guy, I'm a lightweight when it comes to drinking.
Hmm.
And drink and alcohol and stuff like that also does the same thing. Makes me sleepy. You know, so and
Easy way to relax.
and so that's my way of telling like, hey, this is actually some strong stuff. And Lolo was looking at a bunch of different things, but like you said, you sent us some stuff and we went through it, and she was like, okay, this is legit. We can get all in it. So I don't want to have you on and not talk about it. We've obviously been doing stuff with Blackout Coffee for a while. We're gonna do more stuff. So, Cruiseman says congrats on the success.
Thank you very much. It's nerve wracking to go outside of your comfort zone, as we all know. We've all done
Mm-hmm.
things that you get really really scared because you're
Mm-hmm.
hedging a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
I believe in the stuff, and my business partner is a phenomenal guy, and
Mm-hmm.
it's weird to have somebody actually listen to my input. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's weird for what we do, right? This is a kind of funny thing that we do, and then we feel apprehensive about because I don't know. I don't want to say it like in a I don't know. I don't want to say it in a way like maybe I think a lot of myself. We're kind of doing something that I think is noble. We're doing a good thing. We're fighting for something. But the flip side of that, people feel like, well, and you could tell me whether or not you've seen this in the gun world. People feel like you guys have to be monks. You can't have anything. I don't
Yes.
want you to have anything, but we are human beings, and we do have bills, and we have stuff we have to pay for. We have lives that we have to somehow figure out how to balance doing this. Do you run into that same kind of stuff?
100%, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that it's good to find a good balance of that, of something that you enjoy doing, you can add those things to what you're doing, and then somehow get a little bit of a reward for all the hard work and everything that you're putting in by and people get stuff, that it's not just them listening to you and getting the info. They can actually go out there and buy something that supports you and helps you do what you're doing, and then give back and all that. So if people out there can handle that, I think it's a good thing. I know I run into that weird kind of thing in the gun world where it's almost like I don't want you to have anything except guns.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, people don't see it unless they're doing it. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know everything that goes into it, right? They don't
Mm-hmm.
realize that that camera cost me $4,800, and you got
Mm-hmm.
to pay for it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And people just see like, hey, I push play on YouTube and it's a free
You
product,
show
and I
up,
get
yeah.
that because we were there too. When we
Mm-hmm.
first started.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different. Like I just like you, I take this very serious, and I want this to be as professional as it can be for a one man show, and
Mm-hmm.
it costs money to do it.
Yeah, and a lot of resources going into that. So where do you see? I was looking it up, man. I think the last time you were on, like this is episode, what was this episode like 861 or something like that. I think the last time you were on, it was like in the 400s.
Wow, man,
Yeah.
got to change that.
No, it's cool. I know we see each other a lot more than that. Um, But what do you think? Like, what does the future look like for guns and gadgets? I'm trying to get to some stuff that's behind the scenes, maybe things that you don't talk about that much, or people don't have a chance to ask you those things, just because you're always busy, bringing up the stuff that's going on, working, and everyone's focusing on that. What do you see when you look forward here a couple of years?
To be honest with you, man, like this is something I never thought I'd be doing, but once I fell into it, this is a true passion for me. I love getting this information. I love tearing it apart. I'm really good at reading laws and bills and figuring out what the truth is. And I think a good part of it for me is I have no filter. I don't care if I piss off a politician or 60. I really don't care because someone has to hold them accountable. And if I can help people realize that that's what we're supposed to be doing, that to me is enjoyable. I feel like I've accomplished something. And I'll tell you what, this administration, there's not going to be any downtime for me in the next couple of years. But
Mm-hmm.
it's I can't imagine doing anything else, to be honest with you. And coming from a long career, like if I could have done this for the last 24 years, I would have chosen this because I think this has a potential to help not only the individual realize just how powerful they are, uh, but to get people to realize as a group, if we can pull together, we're unstoppable.
Yeah, absolutely. So your career in law enforcement, how did you even get into that? Just to go back in the Wayback Machine again, how did you get
Um,
into law enforcement in the first place? Was it like family? Was it always something on the horizon, or was it just a fluke that you got into that?
it had a lot to do with how I grew up. I grew up in the projects. I saw a lot of things, a lot of stuff in my family that I wouldn't want my kids to grow up around. And I saw a lot of stuff, and I thought that, people shouldn't have to do this. Kids should never have to do this stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
or see this stuff. And I kind of thought at a young age, like, maybe I can be the person to stop that, so another kid doesn't have to grow up and see this stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it just, at a very early age, man, I just knew I wanted to stop what I was seeing, and that's kind of what got me into the job.
Okay. And kind of over the years, how did it change for you versus like when you were just, like a skinny little kid going into the police academy or something like that to where it is now? How did it change? How I don't think you did it the whole time in Massachusetts, right? Did you
No, I
leave
was
and
in
go
New
somewhere
Orleans.
else? Yeah, right,
Yeah, I
right.
was in New Orleans for 3 years. Um, that's a weird story. I went down for a vacation, ended up working there for 3 years.
Hmm.
But when I
It's like
first,
something out of like it's something from a novel every time you tell me. Every
yeah,
time you tell me that, I remember like there's these Monster Hunter novels or stories that I read or I listen to on audiobook, and every time you say that, I think about that.
uh,
Right. Hmm.
when I
Yeah.
so I went into the job, obviously, like, like most young guys and gals when they go into, any type of noble service, you want to try to save the world, right? You want to
Hmm.
truly help people and be somebody that can make a difference in people's lives. And but when you see what's really going on, when you see how, states operate, how cities operate, and you can see a lot of crookedness and shadiness, and how politicians don't necessarily have our best interest at heart, it definitely changes you.
Hmm.
And being a gun guy at an early age, and being somebody who, again, was always outspoken, uh, I took very early into my career to, trying to get people to make the right choice. I used to call it the man in the mirror test.
Hmm.
When I come home every day, I want to look myself in the mirror and know that I did the righteous thing, and I did everything I could to do everything the right way. And there's not a lot of people on there are a lot of people on the job that do it like that do it the right way, but not everybody. Just like
Hmm.
any position, any job, any profession, there's that small amount that ruins it for everybody else. And I working in New Orleans, I got to deal with that small amount quite a bit, and we had a big turnover, and it was an
It's
interesting time. But
it's tough to stand
yeah,
up to the pressure, right? I'm not trying to excuse the people who, take those oaths and then break them. I'm not. But it's tough. Like when you find yourself under pressure, not everyone can actually stand up for that. That's when the mice get separated from the men, kind of a thing.
yeah, 100%. But for me, it's not a difficult choice at all. It's just people have to, excuse the term, grow a sack. Everybody wants to be a tough son of a bitch, but when it comes down to it, just make the right decision and stand by it. And if you're with somebody that doesn't make the right decision, that's their fault. Let them fall, on their own sword. And
Hmm.
for me, it was always easy. And then when I got older and got promoted to a sergeant, I could kind of groom the new guys coming in. Every time we had a new guy come on, a new gal come on, I would bring him in my office, and I always had the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution on my wall, and I would make them read stuff in it
Hmm.
and tell me what Article One means to you, and what does the Second Amendment mean to you, and why are you really on this job? And I throw scenarios at them. Are you going to be a gun grabber? Are you going to serve red flags and stuff like that? And
Hmm.
I'll tell you, I'm glad I'm out of the game now. It's a different world. If I was a new guy coming on right now, I don't think I could be able to last because,
It's a lot more
uh,
politics even than it used to be, I
yeah,
think, in the past, which was always a heavy political thing, but now it's just gotten really crazy. From my friends who are in law enforcement, I see them just like between these two walls that are constantly trying to crush them.
yeah, it's a tough spot now, because like you said, politics it ruins
Hmm.
everything, not just public service. It ruins everything,
Hmm.
and it's a different world now.
Yeah. So how did that all transition into doing the YouTube thing? Like where was the point where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna uh get a camera or something like that and start making YouTube videos.
So way back in the early YouTube days, when everybody was watching cat videos, when
Hmm.
I had my shoulder surgery, I was home, obviously recouping, and you'll remember that everybody was doing holster reviews. This is like 8 years ago now.
Yeah, yeah. It
Everybody
seems
was
like
doing
so
a
long
review on a
ago.
holster. Yeah. um,
That's true.
and I've been an instructor for 20 plus years, and I was like, you know
Hmm.
what, I can do that.
Hmm.
And we went down. I think the video is still up on my channel. We
Hmm.
went into my basement, and my son
Hmm.
held up like an iPhone 4S,
Hmm.
and the rest is history.
iPhone 4,
But what?
yeah. Yeah, that's kind of where, yeah, I
Yeah,
started on an
man.
iPhone too.
And then when I got hurt with my back,
Mm-hmm.
I made a conscious decision because I really couldn't do anything before surgery. I said, I'm going to put out a video a day, every single day for 6 months. And that will
Mm-hmm.
let me know if there's traction, if this is something I can do, or if it's not. And luckily, the channel caught some traction, and here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we got like 30 seconds here, so we probably have to get into this on the other side of this thing, but I'm really curious to see how, because you weren't originally doing what you're doing right now, which is mostly covering news and things like that that were coming out. So I'm
Right.
really curious to see where did that come from? What was the impetus for that? Did you dabble in it a little bit, or did you just do it one time and it took off? So we're gonna get Jared to answer that right after we come back. I think there's gonna be a break here. Let's see. With Arms List, you can shop the extensive list of local and nationwide firearms classified, now with more confidence because of their built-in firewall. For only $6.99 a month for personal use, or $30 a month for business vendors, so when you're in the market, please consider Arms List. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Arms List. All right. So yeah, if how did that transition into what you're doing now?
So I've always been a guy who was good at reading law, good at reading new bills, and being able to translate that to common speak, so layman terms so people can understand it. And I've always done
Mhm.
that in my whole career. The channel, when I started, Guns and Gadgets, would lead one to believe that I was going to be doing videos about guns and
And
gadgets.
gadgets, right, right.
Yeah.
No, this is so weird.
But then when I realized how much that was going to cost, it was
Right.
cost prohibitive. I have four, at the time we had two kids, but I had four kids with autism,
Mhm.
and I couldn't I just couldn't do it.
Mhm.
So I would do things when I could afford to buy stuff, and I would trickle in a video about a specific Massachusetts law because we're always attacking guns here.
Mhm.
And I always noticed that back in the day, before we had an analytics page, you would see that there was always more traction on those videos
Mhm.
for the law. So I started to do more of them, and then I started to bounce to different states in my area, to New Hampshire and something in New York.
Mhm.
And then there was more of a demand for that than waiting a month before, 2 months before I could buy a new gun.
Mhm.
Um, so I started to, really dig into the states and to see what's happening in each state. And I started to see, like in Massachusetts and California, what happens in our two states will go to New York, will go to Maryland. It'll kick its way through the states because it's a trial.
Yeah.
So what
Mhm.
I want to do is make sure people were aware of what's going on in their state. And I always try to be, I don't want to just like burn the house down and go after people. I always want to give people some type of action, a route of action where they can actually do something. So here's the bill. This is what they're looking to do. This is a link to get a hold of your representatives. You need to get a hold of them. You need to call them. Go visit them during office hours and try to drive people to act. And it kind of took off. People were looking for that type of information, I think, because everybody can sit home and get pissed off, but if you don't know how to try to counteract what's happening, you kind of like in a river without a paddle. So I think that a lot of people took that information and ran with it, or realized hey, we can have an effect. And ultimately, I want people to realize that we the people mean something. We have the power, and the second we realize that, the game's over for them. But it's a battle every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, back in the days from what I remember, there was always a little bit of a mix of that, right? So like the gun guys out there, pretty much what you were saying, that they would do the gun stuff, but then they would also let folks know like, hey, this thing, that thing's happening. And I think that was going on all the way, like we ran into that Fire Armageddon situation,
Right.
and what was that, like 2013?
Yeah. Right around there.
Yeah. So, like that
13 or
was
14.
I think so, somewhere in the zone of that, right? And and I think that the gun guys out there were all very effective, but then there was kind of like the social media realized it also, and there was a pushback on that for a lot of people. And there are guys who still kept doing it, but you also kind of saw that people realize, hey, if I do a lot of political stuff or if I mix it in, the algorithm's going to work like this and do this to me. I know we got hit with a lot of that
Right.
because we kept doing it. So there were folks who just like, well, I'm just going to do this gun stuff and I'm going to do the cool gun things, which I don't knock at all. I think all of it is necessary. but somehow in there you kept doing that stuff, and you're kind of like, that's what you're known for. So if something's going on, I'm going to assume that just like me, there's people who are like, oh, let's see what the hell, once you notice that there's all this social media stuff going on, let me see what guns and gadgets, what the hell is happening here, right? It's almost like back in the days going to CNN, right?
Right, and it's very humbling, man. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't take it lightly that people depend on me, and it's cool, but the same way it drives me. I want to make sure I get as much information as I can to people, and I want to get it ASAP. I want to be able to develop those connections, whether it's on Capitol Hill or in state capitals, where people realize that all right, I'm going to portray it right down the line. I'm not going to I don't play party politics. I don't care if people are Republican or Democrat. I just want them to honor their oath and honor our rights in the Constitution. And I think that it's allowed me to build a relationship with a lot more people than I ever anticipated, and it's helped me get the word out.
Yeah, and you've done a lot. You've done a lot of things. What do you think in this time that you've been doing it? What's the craziest thing that ever happened to you? In this journey that maybe we don't see, like maybe we didn't see it reflected in your videos and stuff like that, but it happened. You lived it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, it still affects me today. So January 6th last year, the Trump speech and everything that happened at the U.S. Capitol. I was in D.C. that day. I didn't go in the building. I didn't go in the Capitol, but I was in D.C. And as a result, my employer had me investigated by the FBI. It was a 35-day process. It was nerve-wracking.
The heads of your department decided to investigate you.
Yeah, okay. Somebody called in an anonymous complaint,
mm-hmm.
and without taking my word for it, I mean, I put everything on social media. I mean, I pretty much document everything I do anyway.
Yeah, I think that would have been easy for you for people to figure that out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it was rough, man. 36 days it was the longest month and a week of my life, and a lot of restless nights, a lot of worrying what was going to happen, just because I went to my capital as a free
mm-hmm.
American on my day off to hear the president speak.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, and that's
yeah. And you weren't involved in any of the stuff that's going on there, but somehow you went from being someone who is out there saving people and fighting for people and all that kind of stuff. Not just here on YouTube, like the stuff you did, in your everyday life, right? To somehow being a criminal automatically because you went there.
Yeah, and even still, like my channel, as far as growth, has been paused since January 6th. If you look at the mm-hmm. analytics, it's just
mm-hmm.
it's been on pause since I did the video there in DC. So
mm-hmm.
I mean, it affected not just the worst. It's the worst thing that happened because it didn't just affect me. I could see the toll it took on my wife
mm-hmm.
and my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing, hey, what's going to happen, and we have to have a lawsuit, we have to sue or something like that. And
mm-hmm.
it was an interesting time just to be somebody who went to hear a speech and then jumped on a bus to head back, and
it's crazy,
people
man.
Think what they think, yeah,
absolutely. And there's so many people, like, when that was happening, I had some people who were there and they were telling me stuff that was going on, and these people were just there to see the speech from Trump. There was people there with their kids, with their family, and all of a sudden all those people are criminals because of what some other folks did over here, right? And I'm not even, I don't feel like that was as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be, but, I don't think people realize that I hate the fact that there were companies, I don't know if Facebook was part of it, but there were companies out there like banks and stuff like that giving up information on people just because they so happen to be here. People who didn't even go see the speech. For whatever reason, They happen to be in that area, and the bank could see it, and they're like, wait a second, are these people insurrectionists?
Yep. It was... And I didn't even plan on going, to be honest. Like, I didn't even know it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine who organized the bus trip from Worcester, Mass., he called me like 2 hours before the bus was ready to leave. He's like, hey, we got an empty spot. You want to jump on? We won't even charge you. I was like, yeah, all right, why not? Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And
you've always, as long as I've known you, you've always, if you could, gone out to things like that.
Yeah, it's history. You want to be able to not just witness it, but to be able to ensure stuff
mm-hmm.
is reported correctly.
Yeah. How was it from your perspective out there? Did you realize all this stuff was happening? How did that whole thing go down for you?
So I was down at, if you've been to DC before?
Yeah. Hmm.
All right, so I was down at the Ellipse for it's like from 4:30 in the morning until when Trump was finished speaking. I was in that pressed up against the barricade the entire time.
Hmm.
So that was, I think he got done, I don't know, 1:30,
Hmm.
quarter to 2, because he came out late. And then when his speech was over, we had a bus to catch because our bus was picking us up at I think it was 3:30 was the time that they were pulling out.
Okay, so you
So
were just
there were,
in for that and then out, right?
yeah, and there was like 1.5 million people there, so it took a
Hmm.
while to walk on the streets to get to the train station where the buses were picking us up, which
Hmm.
happens to be 2 blocks from the Capitol.
Hmm.
So we get up towards the Capitol, and I said, "Hey, let me take a selfie." That was the dumbest thing I could have done. So I took a selfie, and I was on like 4 feet off the street onto the grass, 300 yards from the building. And as soon as I took that selfie, dude, I could start. I mean, I heard a flashbang. You don't mistake the sound if you heard them before, and it caught my attention. And then you could see the smoke, the gas grenades going off, and people scaling. We've all seen it on TV. And I looked at my buddy, and I'm like, dude, any second now the sirens are coming. It's time to go because
Hmm.
anybody in this area is going to be, thumped.
Hmm.
So we just kept walking to the bus terminal, and as we were boarding the bus, that's when hell broke loose, and they shut down the city and called out the National Guard and the FBI and
Hmm.
everybody else, and it just went crazy.
So, were you guys able to leave? Were you actually able to get out?
Yeah, they let the buses out, but
Hmm.
anybody that was still either, from what I was told, anybody that was
Hmm.
still on the Capitol grounds between the front of the building and by the Supreme Court, they kind of like kept everybody there until they could figure out what was going on.
Yeah, and DC's not huge. So for example, I mean, so Maryland and Virginia is right there in that area, and I like grew up going up there. Lola is actually from Maryland, so it's not like a big massive place,
Yeah,
the
like 10
actual,
blocks.
yeah, DC itself. So you guys were able to get out. Did you have any inklings? Did you see anything going on? Was there like any kind of
We
red
saw
flags or
the
indicators?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you could see like 99.8% of the people were there. Red, white, and blue, and waving flags, and um, I would say most of the people there were there. There's a spirit of unity and stuff like that.
Hmm.
People obviously they wanted Trump to be the next president, obviously.
Hmm.
But you could see people. It was obvious people all dressed in black, combat boots, and there was definitely a couple people in the crowd that didn't looked like everybody else with the regalia they were wearing and stuff like that, and they were apparently people who were trying to plan all this stuff, and
Hmm.
we've seen all the investigations and stuff, but
Yeah, it
you
was
could
weird.
definitely see some stuff out there.
Yeah, I had someone who was actually out there, like I said, with his family, and he was. I mean, no one takes their family to what they know is going to be an insurrection.
Right,
No
absolutely.
one does that. I think, like you're saying, and this was his point of view just as well as it was yours. He was like, "Oh, I just wanted to see this speech from Trump, and he was telling me there were handicapped people out there. There were all kinds of people out there. This
Yeah,
was
man, it
never the
was like
intention.
all
Hmm.
yeah, it was
Hmm.
all walks of life, man, and everybody was getting along. And
Hmm.
I went, obviously because it was a free ride,
Hmm.
but I saw Donald Trump's first speech once he announced he was running. It was here in Worcester, Massachusetts,
Hmm.
and I said, well, if this is going to be his last speech, I might as well bookend it. Go see what
Yeah.
see what he says.
Yeah,
And
be a witness
and
to
yeah,
history for when, because obviously right now even the news media is rewriting that whole thing and trying to paint people who were like yourself who went there for that speech, into a specific thing. But I remember this guy telling me, like, he was giving me play by play while it was happening, and he was like, dude, there's something weird happening here. We're trying to get out, and we could see like people, it's almost like there's people instigating something, but they're very, very organized. They're
yeah,
communicating with each other. What was your perspective on that?
yeah. There was some yeah. I saw the same thing. There were people on bullhorns that, especially when the speech ended, they were trying to drive people to different locations, and I don't really pay much attention to anybody. Nobody really tells me what to do, so I was just
Hmm.
going to get to the bus. But yeah, you could definitely see that stuff, and it all started to pop off right when we were, like I said, we were just getting to the bus and boarding. So I was trying to keep, I was, Instagramming and tweeting and Telegram and stuff that was coming out,
Hmm.
information that was being relayed to me by law enforcement on scene. And some of it turned out to be right. Some of it was came out too wrong, too soon and was wrong. But I was just trying to keep people in the know, because like we've never seen anything like that in the history, in our history, as long as I've been alive. So I was trying to get the information out, and little did I know that
You
I
were
was
going
going
to
to
get
be facially recognition by the FBI for 35 days.
So what happened with that whole thing? Are you all cleared of that now? Is that something?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I was cleared. It just took them that long to run me through the whole system, because obviously they were
Mhm.
looking at people who were in the building. But yeah, the channel probably saved me, because the FBI told my boss, the chief, he said, that I'm a public figure, and they would recognize me if I was in the building, and because I was a public figure, they cleared me.
Yeah, there
They
would have
said
been
quickly, but
10,000
36 days
people
is a long
ratting
time.
you out. I'm not saying that the gun guys would do that to you at all, but I mean,
Yeah.
that there's people looking at us that are not gun guys. Let's be honest about that.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
once we get up here and start saying these things, there's lots of people looking at us through lots of different accounts, and always tracking what we're up to, and which is weird because most of us are the most law-abiding people out there that you could imagine. We only want good things for America, for the world, for that matter. But there's a lot of that going on. Did
A
you
lot of
lose?
Karens out there.
Yes, absolutely. Did you lose, like, amongst your peers, right? Did you lose a lot of friends and stuff like that, or people knew who you were? How did that go down for you in terms of?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I I've always carried myself with like integrity means something to me.
Hmm.
A lot of people, maybe not as much, but to me it means something, and it goes back to like the man in the mirror test.
Hmm.
And when people asked what happened, I think that when I told them, with 100% conviction, they knew that what I was saying was true, and
Hmm.
it was long for everybody involved, but it's
Yeah.
the guys and gals who are in my circle, they stood by.
All right. Very good. I'm trying to figure out if you could shape the future of what you're doing now, right? Because you know you're transitioning right now, Jared.
I'm molting.
I don't know. Is that like accurate? Is that a good description? Because I feel that way. I feel you're kind of like about to go through a sea change. I'm sorry. It's just cracking me up like to think about it. But do
Yeah.
you think about it that way, man? Do you look at it as like, does it feel, is it, how you can almost smell the change in the air sometimes? Have you ever been in those situations?
Yes. Yeah. And
Does this part of your life feel like that to you?
yeah, 100%. Especially now retiring medically, and
Mm-hmm.
being a business owner, and not just the channel, which this is a business for me, but
Mm-hmm.
Blackout Coffee, and now I'm moving
Mm-hmm.
to a free state.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of changes going on where
Can we talk about where
it's
you're
almost,
moving to? I don't know if we already said
yeah,
it. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I'm going to Florida. I just gotta wait
Oh,
for a
awesome! You're welcome
couple
to come.
things to.
Come shoot with
Yeah,
me, man. Come hang out with me when you're here in Florida.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
down southwest, but I'll come up to you. I know where you
Yeah,
are.
and I'll bring the van
Absolutely.
over to where you are too. Make sure you get good internet, so so I can
Actually,
I
well, let's
can
plan
mooch your
on that,
internet.
and when I'm
Mhm.
down there, we'll get you into Blackout Coffee and maybe check the place out.
Oh, absolutely, yes, that'll be fun. I know this sounds weird, but selfishly, I can't wait until you're actually in Florida. That's
Me too. Me too.
yeah. I know that's tough. So how is all of this feeling to you? Like, what do you think? I don't know if you're superstitious. I don't want to jinx anything, but how would you like to see all of this evolving? As you go through this, like, where do you see it going? What do you think? What do you think this is going to become?
Uh, I hope that my goal in this is to create a on the channel side. I just want to have like I call it the freedom media. I want to be
Mm-hmm.
able to have this be bigger, where maybe I can have some assistance and not have
Mm-hmm.
to work myself to the bone constantly, and have this grow to be something
Mm-hmm.
that is self-sustaining, and
Mm-hmm.
then allow me to transition from the employee side of my life to a business owner
Mm-hmm.
side of my life. And I've been trying to come out of that cocoon for a couple of years, and I think that I hope that this is going to give me that opportunity, and to be able to provide for my kids like I really never could before.
Absolutely, yeah. So the team part, because I think that's what's really important if you really want to build this, right? Somehow putting together a team
Yeah.
How do you fit? Because is it just you at this point really doing? Like
Yeah,
for
man.
me, I know it's me
Just
and
me.
Lola, and that's tough, and that's two of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my
How was
wife
it?
helps me out too behind the scenes.
Hmm.
Like she'll help me. I get no word to lie. I get a couple thousand emails every day, and
Hmm.
I'm the type of guy is like once I have hit my limit, I'm done.
No
I'll put
more
it away and
input.
I'll come back another day.
Yeah. Right.
So she
Hmm.
tries to pick up that slack for me.
Hmm.
It's just it gets, as you know, man. You got a large channel. It's overwhelming, to say the least, to try to stay up on everything.
Hmm.
Whether it's messages on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's just too much.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I would love to have people that I can trust. But being an alpha
Right.
and a control freak, it's tough,
Yeah.
because nobody can do it the way I can in my own mind, right?
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
tough.
Hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. I think for me, so the biggest channel that we actually have is YouTube/Hank Strange, right? And I think that's about 118,000 subscribers. The funny thing is that got stopped at a certain point. There's a lot of things and that happened a couple of years ago,
Mhm.
where they just said, boom, that's it. We're putting all these locks on what you do. I mean, I've got the plaque and everything for getting 100,000 subscribers, but almost after that, it's really just grinded to a standstill. And so, even though it's a big thing that's out there, we've got the podcast side that we do, and we were doing it on YouTube, and we wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of a DAO, or decentralized autonomous organization like TUSC Crypto. TUSC cryptocurrency is a firearm-friendly e-commerce option for online payment transactions, secured on the blockchain. So when you're in the crypto market, please consider TUSC, TUSC. All right, I got so caught up in what we were talking about. So what I was saying to you is that, almost there was this thing that happened with the podcast channel and my main channel. And what I mean by that is a couple of years ago, YouTube decided that they didn't want anyone going live and handling a firearm.
Yes, I
Do you,
remember
you
that
remember
day.
that? Yeah. Did they ever communicate with you before they did that?
They did, which I found really odd.
Mm-hmm.
They reached out to me, and that was the first time YouTube ever reached out to me, and
Mm-hmm.
they were like, "Hey, we want to have a call with you and talk about some changes coming up." And I kind of was sworn to secrecy until they
Mm-hmm.
announced everything.
Mm-hmm.
But they were like, "Yeah, we there's value in what you do in your channel, and we just want to tell you that you can't hold these things up live or they'll get shut down." And I was like, "What's going on?"
Kiss of
Uh,
death. I went through the same exact thing. Yeah.
yeah, man. But they let my channel grow for a little while until January 6th, and then I think I'm at 471.8 right now, and it's been kind of that way for a long time.
Yeah. So that was the thing. The same exact thing happened to me. It was a team of lawyers. I remember that, and they
Mhm.
said I couldn't say anything about it. And then they said, yeah, you're going live, and we're watching you. We know you're going live a lot, and we're going to be paying attention to you. And it's like everything almost got ghosted after that. And so it's having those two channels, and then because of everything happening, I separated, and then there's this channel that does the van stuff and all that, and it's taken off. It's kind of rough to now juggle all of those things and juggle all the social media behind that, and the other social media is we've got our problems there, right? I'm constantly getting hit. I've had the YouTube channels deleted, I've had the Facebooks deleted as well, all this kind of stuff. The point I'm getting to here is I really want to know, like, the way that you look at things. I want to know where you think this is going and what you think we could do about this. Like, what's the future of this? What's the things we need to be thinking about when it comes to this?
As far as what we do on the media side here,
Yeah, I mean, how are we? Do you like? Obviously, you're getting ready now to start doing this more, right?
hmm yeah, this is
Like,
going to be my
Yeah,
full-time gig, man. It's scary.
exactly. So, like, how do you think that's going to work? I mean, is it, you know, do you think it's because it's not just that you're doing what everyone else out there on YouTube is doing? You're not a car guy, you're not doing makeup or anything else. Is there a plan? Is there something we need to do different? Is there something that we should all be doing together to prepare for this? Like, what is the actual future of this? Because I don't see these guys getting any better.
Well, so it's kind of a catch 22. I was lucky enough while at SHOT Show to speak to an employee at YouTube who is a gun guy.
Mm-hmm.
And there were changes, as you know, made in January that are going to lighten things up for us as far as the restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, Google, Alphabet knows that we are one of their biggest earners, the freedom community, Second Amendment and hunting and stuff like that. So they're not going to get rid of us, man. I think that for the longevity of all of us, I think that it's key that we do what we're doing right now. We work together. We expose our audiences to each other so that maybe somebody who's watching you didn't know me, maybe they subscribe to my channel and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
That will force growth for us. Me on my end, I'm hard-headed, man. I'm the type of person, like, I will make stuff work. So I will bulldog my way through it. I'll outlast restrictions that they put on me because I'll just keep doing it. And as long as people keep coming back to watch, I'll keep doing it. And I say it in a lot of times in my videos, without you guys and gals watching, I don't do it anymore because I'm just a clown talking to a camera right now. And it takes a lot of time to research all this stuff. So, and I do it for a reason. And the second that people don't want it anymore, I'll go fishing or something like that. But I think if we all work together, I think we can definitely have a better outcome because a unified front is a lot more powerful than a fractured one.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I'm just trying to figure out like how we do it, and I know it's not an easy thing because we kind of do have different factions and different people,
Yeah.
and a lot of us are alphas. some are real alphas, some are fake alphas. You know how that goes, right? You can always tell the real alphas because they don't need to prove it. Just like in nature, when you see the real alphas in nature, they're not trying to prove it, and then you see the little wannabe alphas running around until they get smacked upside the head, kind of. This is nature.
Yeah.
So
Right.
a lot of that stuff makes it sometimes tough for us all to work with each other and do what we need to do. But I agree with you. I've been telling people for a long time that this is a lot like when Irish people came to America and no one liked them and they had to get together, or Italians, or when the slaves were freed and then you had all these black people that were out there and they had to figure out how to get together and pool their resources and create their own economies, or basically like ecosystems where they were supporting each other. If I need coffee, I buy the coffee from you. You're doing this thing I'm not doing. So for example, like the service that you offer to the community, instead of me competing with you, I need to help promote you. I need to tell people, hey, you want to know what's going on with this? Go look at Jared, right?
Yeah. I agree 100%. Like, if we, lack of a better term, if we used each other better, we used each other's strengths better as a group, I think it would absolutely help each one of us out, as far as prospering and growing and pushing through the barriers they have for us.
Yeah, Lola's asking me, is YouTube coming down on Jared first off? I'm not sure exactly what that question means. They're coming down on you, I think, right? Are you noticing?
Oh yeah, I've been shadow banned for a while. It's nobody gets notifications anymore. What used to be 6-digit view counts within 24 hours is a fourth of that now. All the analytics we all look at, they're down by 60% easy. So yeah, they're trying, but I'm a hardhead. I'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something like I think that you have a natural, you can naturally do this, right? And then now there's these things in the way, and yeah, you have to kind of like bulldoze your way through it, because if it's really what you do, you just find a way. That's what the Who Moved My Freedom means in the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. It comes from, there's a book, I don't know if you ever read this book or heard of it. It's called Who Moved My Cheese?
No.
Yeah, it's a story. It's a short story. And if you look, it's been around for a long time, and it's basically talking about these mice in a maze, and they go through this maze and they find cheese right in the center of the maze. And then one day they go there and it's not there anymore. And now the question is, what do you do? If someone moved the cheese or the cheese is not there, what do you do? Do you stand around complaining about it? Do you blame someone for it? Do you become proactive and start looking for, where is the cheese now, kind of a thing? And I think that's what we're going through. We're not doing anything wrong. We're probably out of the folks who are content creators on YouTube and other platforms, we're probably some of the most law-abiding and background checked.
Right. 100%. Yeah. Because we
People
screw
that
up
accept.
once, we have big losses, not just
Yeah.
here on screen.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I said to the YouTube guys when I was talking to them. I was like, dudes, I have an FFL, SOT. There's all kinds of things that go into this, for what we're doing, right? And we're professionals at what we're doing. Even more so than a lot of, and I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of people who are doing YouTube. So what exactly, can we? How do we do this? That's what I think the question is. How do we do it? How do we overcome what these guys are going through before they realize that? I think all the restrictions they're putting on things are going to lead to people not wanting to watch them. There's going to be a lot of people out there realizing what they're doing. But how do we survive? That's the thing I'm trying to get from you. How do we survive between now and then?
Man, I wish I had the easy answer. I just
Mhm.
think, to me, I just think it's hard work on our side.
Mhm.
I think we can outlast them.
Mhm.
I really do. Because what we do as a service that we provide, people want this information, whether it's
Mhm.
my channel or Mr. Guns and Gear or Tim
Mhm.
from Military Arms.
I agree.
People go to those people for a distinct reason, and they wake up every day and they check their channels for a reason.
Mhm.
And I think as long as we keep following through on what people expect from us, they'll be there.
Mhm.
And as long as that exists, it's going to be hard for them to just make us go away.
Mhm.
Because I mean, after all, the OGs, Such and Eric from Iraq Veteran 88 and Hickok,
Mhm.
they kind of grew YouTube. Like,
Mhm.
other than cats, guns grew YouTube,
Yeah.
and it's not going away. I really don't think it is. They're going to try to dink and dunk with us a little bit, but I think perseverance is the key.
I think that, you know what, I don't want to seem like corny or whatever on it, but it's what makes. I've lived in a lot of different places on this planet, and it's what makes America different, I think, from anywhere else in the world. The right. I mean, and this is natural, right? It's so stupid that we even have to discuss it, but it's a natural right of a human being to defend themselves.
Mhm.
Okay? And America, in contrast to lots of different places around the world, this is like a core, something at the core of what America is. And I think at the end of the day, no matter who the people who are immigrants to America, people who maybe they think naturally who they are, whether they're people of color or women or with some religious thing or some sexual orientation, let's say, makes them feel like they're in the minority. All of those people, everyone in America at some point comes into to this understanding that they have to defend themselves. No,
Absolutely.
no one else. So what happens when you realize that? What happens if you're a gay person and you realize there's people out there going after you, or you're Jewish and you realize people are doing that, or you're Asian and there's people doing things to you, or whatever it is you are. You're just a person living somewhere, and other people feel like they can take your stuff and do whatever they want to you. You turn to you realize, hey, I've got to defend myself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The body responds one of three ways. It either freezes up, it decides to fight, or it flees, it flight. So that's the fight or
Mm-hmm.
flight syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And most people tend to say, hey, you know what? If it's me or the other guy, I'm going home at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go home, and I might be a little worse for wear, but I gotta do what I gotta do to defend myself. And that, like you said, that's a core value, not just for this country, which it is, but that's a natural human right, man.
Mm-hmm.
People in insert neighborhood of country here, they shouldn't have to lay down and expect the government to come save them, because I say it all the time: when seconds count, help is minutes away. And I'm never gonna make a decision where I'm gonna lose my life because I fail to act, or somebody
Mm-hmm.
else near me, whether it's family or a bystander. But that's part of being the alpha, right? That's we see ourselves as the protector, and doing what we're doing. And I think more people are realizing, especially the last couple of years, when we went through the whole leading up to the elections, where
Mm-hmm.
it was, burn the cities down, and
Mm-hmm.
that was okay and cool, and we saw that, and people started to say, all right, I need to take care of myself. I'm gonna buy a gun. I'm gonna buy all the friggin' ammo in the market.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think we've had, what, 16 million new gun owners since that,
In the
the
last
burn them
couple of
down
years.
days.
And
Yeah,
that's
it's
not
good.
the dyed in the wool gun guys like us. It's the folks who I see when I'm out there that are just regular folks doing whatever else it is that they do, in their life. I see this on the car side, or even like let's put it as the van side of what I do. People just want to be when they see all this crazy stuff happening, they go, okay, when I see this, there's no one there to save those people, right?
Right.
So how do I save myself? And that's kind of what we're doing. And there's folks out there who are saying to people, no, we don't want you. We don't want you to see this. That's actively what they're doing. We're not out there. I've never seen really gun guys. I don't know if you know of any preaching, just go out there and hurt people. I've,
No,
I've not seen
no,
it. Right? So
no.
we're
It's
trying to
crazy.
help
Yeah.
people. Yeah. And so people turn in the real world, outside of what these guys do to us in the real world, people they see that and they go, hey man, what can I do? How do I figure out how to do this myself to defend myself? And that's what these guys are trying to cut off. And we're trying to just figure out like, okay, this is something that we are attracted to doing for people naturally. How do we
Yeah.
survive to be able to keep doing that?
I think, dude, it comes for me.
Mhm.
My point of view comes down to identity politics.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, there's a large portion of people who, vote Democrat that are now
Mhm.
new gun owners, and what they don't want is for you and me and the rest of the crew that does this to educate those people to where they now say, I'm not going to vote for, people who want red flags. Why would I want to put myself at risk and my family? I'm not going to vote for gun control. I need this tool.
Mhm.
That's what they're scared of. Because
Mhm.
if 16, say 2/3 of the new gun owners are coming from, leaning left or being anti-gun, that's a huge portion of their voting base, and they're afraid of that. And as long as we keep doing what we're doing, man, we're reaching those people. It might not be as fast as we all want, but I think that's part of what the conglomerates of the media don't want to happen. They don't want us to get those people to see, I don't have to vote for this guy just because I have always in my life, or my mom was a Democrat, or I don't have to vote for Joe. I can vote a single issue vote. I can become a single issue voter, and that's kind of what I am trying to do daily on this channel.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that the man, this stuff with COVID in the last couple of years, I don't think that a lot of corporations or these, I don't think these people, I don't think they really truly see yet what they've done, how far they've pushed a lot of people in America that used to believe them, and now they're like, whoa, this is what
Yeah,
happens when we let these guys have all the power.
yeah. I think what's happened is it has a potential to be a huge awakening.
Hmm.
People are seeing it, but do they remember? That's the thing. If they just go back to the whole, it doesn't bother me, I don't really care type attitude, then we'll go back to right back to where we were. But if people hold
Hmm.
on to that and say, you know what, we gave you an inch and you took 10 yards, and you wanted to, make me wear something, or you wanted to make me take something that I didn't want to take, I think there's a big shift about to
Yeah.
happen. I really
I
do.
think when you see, if you think about it, like in America, you could send your kid to school in certain places, right? In California, you could send your kid to a school and they vaccinate them. Now, just think about this for a second. A lot of people in California, if you just rewind 10 years ago, like, injecting them with stuff, they're like, nope, you're not going to inject me with something. I need to know what that is. What's the repercussions of that? Do you remember that?
Absolutely.
That wasn't a thing that guys like us were all up in arms about. I'm not saying that some of us as gun guys weren't like, oh, we're not gonna. I grew up my whole life like having to travel around and getting injections, right? You just go like, okay, here's my arm,
Right.
stick me with something, and then weird stuff happens to my body, right? But all of a sudden everything's flipped, and now those same people who really believe that, now they're sending their kids to school, and all of a sudden their kid gets injected with something that they have no clue.
Yeah, there was I don't know, being a freedom lover and somebody who's willing to fight to the end, to keep what we have. It was shocking for me to see how fast people just, fell in line. It was really shocking.
Capitulated. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and it was really, really fast, and because they wanted to believe, all right, if I just do this, this will be done.
Hmm.
But if I always tell people, go to the CDC website and look at the VAERS reports, and when you see the amount of people who are really messed up from what they're telling you is going to stop this stuff, it'll make
Hmm.
you think.
Yeah.
And I'm not anti-vax. I'm pro-choice. Make people can make the best choice that they think for them. If you want to get the vaccine, fine. You want to wear a mask, fine. But the same flip side of that, flip side of that coin is don't poo-poo on me because I'm not wearing a mask while I'm the only person driving in my car with the windows up. It just it is what it is.
It's crazy to see what happens with people once they're put into a fair situation where they feel like, hey, I'm gonna die if I don't, and the news is telling me every day that people are dying because of this. And for sure, I'll never deny that there's people dying because of that. I think,
Right.
we've lost people inside of our own community, but there's more to the story than that, of what's happening, and everyone should get to choose what that is, because not everyone could actually, it's not a good idea for everyone to do that.
Well,
You
fear
know?
sells, man. I mean, we're in the beginnings of a blizzard. We're going to get more than 2 feet of snow. And last night
Mhm.
on our local Channel 5, I actually heard the guy say this is the worst storm in our history. It hasn't even started snowing yet, and the guy's
Uh-huh.
already just fear, 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 and that's what sells now. It's every day I turn on the TV, it's you should be afraid of this now, and you should be
Mhm.
afraid of that. Like I don't even watch the news anymore.
Yeah.
It's not like we were when we grew up. It's a little different
No.
now.
But you know what I think it's a weird thing that's happening. It's a juxtaposition, right? We've never been as comfortable anywhere in the world, not just America. All over this planet, people have never been as comfortable as right now. Okay,
True.
the technology, the things we have access to. Like my family came to America to live in the 80s, right? So if you look at what life was like then compared to what it is now, we're incredibly comfortable. And so
Yeah.
when everyone's really comfortable like this, how do you how do you push people? How do you motivate them? You have to scare the crap out of them. You have to tell them, if you don't do this, it's death.
It's true.
you know,
Yeah. I
that's the
mean,
only way to do it.
even the American lifestyle is we always want more and more and more and more, and like you said, get comfortable. And sometimes
Hmm.
you lose that drive because you don't have to worry about your next meal. You don't have to worry about can I afford the heat this month?
Hmm.
Where am I going to sleep?
Yeah.
We get too comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, listen, I got to start wrapping it up. We're over. I don't know how this happened. I think, we somehow burned through 2 hours without even knowing. I'm not even sure what
It
exactly
was
happened here.
it was fun, man.
Yes, absolutely. It was fun. So we're gonna actually wrap this up here. Let me see. Night Train says, don't forget that YouTube is owned by Google. If Donald Trump does run for president in 2024, he may not get my vote because of his 2A stance of pushing for vaccinations. Yeah, I'm not even interested in him running, to be honest with you. That's just my personal. I think we got to move
Perfect
on from
ticket
that.
would be Ron DeSantis and Kristi Noem.
There you go. Let's let some other folks step up there. I think Trump pretty much had his chance to show it. Armament and Axes gave us $5 here, and he says, you and Jared's thought on term limits. Tell Jared I said hello. Hashtag 2A strong. That's from Armament and Axes.
Hey, but term limits all around. They should just be inundated with term limits in courts, in Congress,
Yeah,
everything.
absolutely. I would agree with that. I think the political system that we have is the problem. So, one, two-party system. Two, there's not really term limits on anything. So these guys make a lot of money and then get into politics to make even more money
Right. Yeah.
until they
Funny how
die.
that works out.
Yeah. Lola says, thanks for being so patient with all the internet issues, Jared. I agree with that. I think this was actually great, man, to have a conversation like this with you. I enjoyed it.
Same
You
here,
know.
man. I look forward to it. Let's do it again.
Absolutely. Let's do this again. I'm looking forward to you and the whole family moving down here to Florida and being able to harass you, short of getting you to live right next door to me. Which would be perfect. I'm gonna take you living in Florida as the second best thing. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run in the end, and then I'm gonna come back, and we're gonna get words of wisdom from you. So I just want you to know that you gotta come together with some good words here. This might be used for your future presidential run.
All right.
So just think about this here for a second. But before we do that, tell the folks who are watching this, listening to this, if they want to be able to communicate with you or support you or see see the different things or platforms that you're on, where would they find that? How can they do it?
I'm on all the big platforms. The main one is YouTube, obviously, Guns and Gadgets. Just search it up, and I'm there. And if you want to help support me, hit the like button and subscribe, and also check out Blackout Coffee, because that's what's helping pay the bills and putting food in the family's face.
Absolutely, thanks. And let me just say this one thing, man. I've been doing this for like 10 years at this point, and Jared has always been the same dude. Good dude, hardworking guy. Humble, and at the same time, like a force. You know what I'm saying? Like someone who's out there really pushing to get certain things done. Always been really cool with me and all that kind of stuff, and I appreciate it, Jared.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. That means a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, listen, let's run in the end here, and then we'll be right back. So you guys sit right there. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening, watching, hanging out with us here on Utreon. If you want to hang out with us live, we're going to rip the audio out of this, throw it up on iTunes and all your other favorite places to get your audio podcast from. We're on the Firearms Radio Network. Lots of people listening to us every day, and I really appreciate all those folks who are listening to us there. You can get the podcast from hankstrange.com if you're looking for it. Jared, words of wisdom, sir, before we get out of here.
All right on the spot. Guys and gals, you do not realize how powerful you are. It can be intimidating at times, but we hold the keys to this vehicle. Don't be afraid. Come out of your shell. Do what you can. Not everybody has to be a speaker. Not everybody has to be an activist. Do very little. And if the more people that do a little, it actually makes a huge difference. We have the power. It's time for us to realize that we, the people, run this ship.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jared. Keep doing what you do, man. You're out there fighting the good fight, and a lot of folks out there appreciate you doing it. So
thank you, brother. I appreciate
just keep doing it. Same here, man. All right, guys, we're out of here. We will see you Monday. Be safe. Have fun out there. Oh, by the way, it's also over the weekend, Lola's birthday. Big happy birthday to Lola Strange. She's 60 years old. I married an old chick. No, I'm just kidding. No, she's not that old. I'm actually
You're gonna get beat.
you got that right. Yeah, I'm actually older than her. I can already tell the words.
Oh, you're in trouble, bro.
They're gonna be coming at me. But yeah, happy birthday to Lola. Jared, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate and love you, man. Keep doing what you do. We're out of here,
too,
guys.
brother. Be safe.
Peace.